You're going to learn how to day game in the rain in 2023. All the strategies so you don't have excuses. I'll share with you everything I know so you cannot blame the rain. All right, let's begin. So, in 2023, there's inflation. In 2024, there's going to be a recession. But there's a lot of rain right now, and there'll eventually be snow, either around December or January. And people are going to get very, very depressed. But none of that can stop you from meeting and seducing the white girls of your dreams with this secret insta-date method to same-day lays. My students are getting laid in the rain and the bad weather. It does not stop them. Of course, you might be saying, well, okay, so that's your claim, John, that they're day gaming in bad weather. But we want to see some proof, right? How we know you're not just telling us that they're doing that? No problem. So, the Indian student recently who got laid, he did this in the rain. So it is possible. This was in like September. It was not good weather. Same with the other Chinese student who got laid in one approach in bad weather. But who is this guy? You might be wondering, why is there a white guy here? Because in October, a white guy, he got laid. How many approaches? 3 approaches. And he banged a 19-year-old in the fucking rain. No, not in the actual rain. But she's 19 years old. And 3 approaches from Elite 30, from hard case to hero. That's it. 3. And she's 8 out of 10 in looks. So there is no excuses at all. There is no excuses. And that's not just him. Another student got married in the rain too. Believe it or not. I'll show more of it later. It'll be a future testimonial coming up soon. In October. So, the secret lies in the art of the insta-date. To pull to same-day lay, my friends. Picture this. You spot a stunning white girl from inside the mall in the streets, right? Instead of approaching her like a zombie, like, oh yeah, I'm going to run up to her and tap her in the back of the shoulder like Todd V, where everyone can see your awkward attempts. You know, you should try something different. When you catch her eyes, make sure she knows that you're interested, but don't pounce on her like a predator. With this 3-second rule, like, oh yeah, you see her, you gotta start mass approach. That's not gonna work in the rain. Start by talking inside the mall first, together. You're like, what do you mean inside the mall? That's right. The very first strategy is day game inside the mall. Do not just day game on the streets. I'll get into details how you can day game in the streets and how you can get this type of umbrella. So watch the whole video throughout the whole thing. I'm going to show you exactly how this thing works and how even something like this micro umbrella can fit into your pocket. I'll go through all the strategies so you don't have to wear this stupid fur coat with fur on the outside ruining your fashion. Well, let's continue. So basically, the first thing you want to do is to day game inside the mall. You're like, well, okay. In Canada or British Columbia, we have a mall called Metro Town. Lots of people day game there in the mall. So you don't have to always be outside. As long as you can keep your body language up for 6 minutes, she's going to walk and talk with you. So you can go for insta date, but now you're probably wondering like, hey, John, that's great and all, but where do I bring her for the insta date? Where do I bring her for insta date? We know you're supposed to approach in the mall, but what are you supposed to do afterwards? Rather than going outside for an insta date, what you want to do instead is to actually insta date inside the mall. You're like, what are you talking about? Insta date inside the mall, John? It's very simple. Very, very simple. So most guys, if they start inside the mall or outside the mall, they're going to be more on the outside. And what's going to happen when the rain is pouring is she's not going to feel comfortable. She's going to feel like uncomfortable. There's no social comfort. So it makes it very hard to maneuver her. So you want to start inside the mall. Imagine inside the mall is nice and warm, nice and cozy. If you're outside and it's raining, she's going to feel very, very upset. She's not going to move with you anywhere. You cannot run your maneuver warfare. And even if you're able to get an instant hangout, like let's walk and talk, let's go this way. Come on. Even if you got her walking, if you bring her outside for an instant date, now you are no longer safe. You gotta pretend the outside is like lava. Although it's raining, it's like lava. The more she's outside, the more it'll burn, or the more she gets colder. And when she gets colder, less likely you can maneuver. So let's talk strategy. We gotta stay indoors. So you're gonna be moving her not to places like smoothies or coffee. People may not want to drink coffee now. You want to go for a steep tea. It's the best tea in all of BC or Canada. Steep tea, triple, but we'll get into that. As you watch more of this video, we'll go over all the strategy. So number one, insta date inside the mall and go for insta date. If you can get like perfect body language, like my Kaizen students, assuming you don't fail because you're full of cortisol and you talk super fast. So not only does this create instant bond, but also provides you an opportunity to showcase your human side through your social skills and social calibrations. Of course, your emotional control is very important too. If you had perfect body language like Kaizen and you have the social skill flow drill, but however, you don't have the emotional intelligence because you're full of cortisol, the stress hormone. You're going to be talking super fast, talking to her like a Vietnamese. Excuse me, real quick, I have a question. I was like going this direction. I was like looking for a place. Do you know what I can find? You don't want to talk with syllables close together because when you do that, she's going to want to walk away. You're going to put more pressure on her on top of the rain that's happening, on top of the cold weather where she's physically not feeling well, and also on top of the inflation. It's almost like the pandemic is a tsunami and the inflation is like a tornado. Now you got two fucking disasters. And this affects her state of mind. For example, her left brain, her logical brain is affected. Her right brain emotionally is affected. So you're going to make a lot of excuses and she's going to be more resistant. This is why in 2023, we don't see actual day game lay testimonials from other coaches. You wonder, where are they? I am posting nonstop, although it's turning everyone off on YouTube right now because the main video is always a testimonial of a student getting laid. The next one's going to be a student with 15 lays and he got married. The next one after that is going to be another one for the rest of the year. Of course, that means I can post less videos. But let's talk about this strategy. So you need to make sure that you're chilled and relaxed, because if you're not chilled and relaxed, and the word syllables, right? So you hear the word syllables, 3, right? Syllables. Excuse me, that's 3, right? You cannot be too close together when you're talking to her inside the mall when it's raining outside, because that makes her uncomfortable. It's almost like you're doing salsa together. But if you go too fast, like my Kaizen student who I just kicked out, or he quit, he can do it because he talks super fast. You can have perfect body language, good social skill flow drill, but if you talk super fast during the rain, you will fail. You'll never be able to maneuver her inside the mall. So you engage with her with an interesting conversation, right? You enjoy each other's company, and you flirt when she talks more. The only way you can even flirt is when you can calm down and speak. If you can speak properly and use a triangular flow drill over and over, she talks more. But if you're talking super fast, you can't do that. So that means when she talks more, you have perfect opportunities to throw flirts right there. You don't just throw a 200 romantic sexual flirts, because that will never work, ever, in 2020 through the inflation. And a lot of people, I lost a lot of subscribers saying this, because I believe if you keep using romantic flirts, you're not going to fit into the boyfriend-girlfriend frame. Sure, you can pull her back home, but the only way to convert her, because it doesn't deal with the arrow science of maneuver, sexualize, and objections looping, what's going to happen is she's in the bedroom and you guys sit next to her, but you gotta have to get her drunk with vodka and Pepsi or a big bottle of champagne, because you don't fit into the boyfriend and girlfriend frame. This already is a losing battle. Now you have to get her drunk and Russell Brand her and Andrew Late her. And I do not recommend you do that. Escalate so heavy. That's illegal. She's drunk. She can't object, because she has more objections because there's a rain and there's a pandemic and an inflation. Because of these things, she's not feeling good in the left brain. You can spike the right brain with a bunch of stupid romantic flirts all day. Flirt, romantic, fall in love with you. But that's just her right brain. You're spiking one side. You got to dominate both sides of the brain or it's not going to work. This is why only Johnny Elite has nonstop late testimonials of 2023. Everybody else says, oh, they got so much testimonials. They got so much. You got those testimonials. They all exist. You got them testimonials. But guess what? Where are they? It's like UFOs or whatever. We hear about it, but we don't see a single bit of proof, definitive proof that it exists. But we all believe it, but we never fucking see it. So having said that, you want to instigate her to the mall. So you flirt when she talks more. And the only way you get there is taking your time, because the faster she talks, the more nervous she is. You cannot have a salsa dance that's going in a downward spiral. So having said that, now that you feel like it's time for a change of scenery, be the man with a plan. So I suggest you move to another location inside the mall. So let's say, for example, you grab a steep tea in Tim Hortons if you're Canadian. So in the mall, you don't always have to go directly into seeding her the idea of an insta date. Oh, I know the greatest place to grab a steep tea. You don't always have to do that. You can start to walk and talk with her. Does that make sense? You start moving her to the location. So once you get her walking, then when you're near the Tim Hortons, then you can say, hey, let's grab a steep tea over right here. It's like a yes ladder. She's more likely to say yes when you're closer to the actual location. So maneuver warfare is your friend, but not on the outside. You want to do this inside the mall. You never want to do this maneuver warfare on the outside of the mall, because the more you can avoid the outside, the better. But I'll still give you strategies on what to do if you were outside. That's why I brought this umbrella here, this micro umbrella, which I'll talk about more later. So stick around. Like, what is a micro umbrella? This is different than most umbrellas out there. It's much smaller than all the other ones, and it makes it easier to fit into your pocket. But I'll go into that in more details. So basically, now that you're having an insta date, let's say for 15 or 20 minutes, then it's time to move again. Now, this is the time, because you have an umbrella. It is a good time to get outside. But at the same time, think about this way. What's the end game? You have to get her back home or back into your place. There's no way you can actually get her back home if you don't lead her outside. You can't just go on an insta date, get a phone number close, and settle with that while you're talking super fast and going direct. It'll never work. Never, ever work. Look, where are all the students that are getting laid in 2023? Have you ever seen those forum groups? Ever? You've seen all these PUA forum groups with this mystery method shit. For 2023, nobody got laid. This is a fact. You might be saying, John, you cannot hate on the mystery method. It is no, fuck you, mystery method. Mystery method did not get anyone laid in 2023. Even Justin Wayne's system is based on the misery method. So is London Daygame. So is all the other systems that are misery method, old misery method and new misery method. Nobody got laid. Nobody got laid from these fucking systems except for Johnny Elite's system. Isn't that weird? Go to any forum group. It's like, only I am posting late testimonials. How could that be? So what I'm teaching you is backed by something. Is not like bitfuck, which is not tangible. The advice I'm giving you has validity, because now that things are becoming harder and it's raining like crazy, it becomes double hard. What I mean by that is there's a pandemic, or it's tsunami, fucking inflation, a tornado, and now we got the rain on top of everything else. It's like we got three things. And your excuses on top of everything. This is why I'm making this video, because if I don't make this video, you're going to make a lot of excuses why you cannot day game in the rain. Let's continue. So now that you move her around and you got her to a Tim Hortons or something, you got to think about the tactical considerations. When it starts to snow next month, it's going to start fucking snowing next month. You know that? It may not be snowing right now. It may be raining right now, but it's going to be snowing next month or the month after that. If there's a delayed thing because of what they call climate change, which I don't believe in, because the earth is getting hotter. because the sun. Anyways, as I was saying, right? Watch them, make sure like make like 18 plus whatever this video. Fuck them. All right, so basically saying that the weather is not good. That's my point. But if I don't make this video, you're gonna make excuses. You're gonna say, John, is raining. I'm not gonna approach. It's inflation. You don't have as much money. But if my students are getting laid in the rain, and these guys are poor, then how is this possible? Even my student got married the other day. You know that? During October, he got married. Let me just show you if I can find it. So, if it's not on my Facebook, oh yeah, add yourself to my outer circle or some shit. Let's see if it's over here or not. I'm not sure if I posted. I've been trying to hide the student getting married because people don't want to hear about marriage. I don't know why, because they always assume like, oh, it's all about same day ladies, right? They don't want to hear about marriage. So, all right. So I'll show you that in the next video. Testimonial is coming up soon. Let's continue. So now that she's gonna be hooked, right? So if the weather plays a part by showering you with rain, if you're not, walk towards. If you have to, you don't have an umbrella for any sort of reason, and you're already maneuver her from the instant outside. This is what you do. You gotta find structures that have covering. So if you're in the mall, the bus stop might have a bit of a covering. Maybe somewhere in the park, they may have a covering, but you must find a place to move her outside back to your place. Because the more it rains, the less likely she's going to go inside. But keep listening, because later on, I'll tell you how to fix that situation when it's pouring rain with this thing, right? So that's the thing. Does this kind of make sense? In order to get her back home, you must always start. Let's just recap just to make sure you guys get it. You must always make sure to approach inside the mall first. Number 2, you must always maneuver her to somewhere to get something hot to drink. And number 3, you must get her back outside into the covering if you don't have an umbrella, but you will have an umbrella by the end of this. And then you're going to bring her home. Venue changes, but you always start as much inside as humanly possible. If you have to go outside, you might go to a coffee shop. You might go somewhere else in between, maybe grab pizza, maybe grab something, and then back to your place. Okay? So now let's talk about this thing, okay? So what clothing to use and accessories? And how to shield yourself from the rain? That's the next question. It's a very logical question. So you guys shield her from the rain like a gentleman and capitalize on the intimate setting. So a cozy instant date over hot chocolate inside will work wonders if you're setting the mood. The reason why you started an instant date inside the mall is so you can bring her to another venue in the mall, keeping both of you dry. But when it's time to leave the next venue change, you have to get her home. So going to a coffee shop is great, like Starbucks or Canadian Tim Hortons. Because who doesn't love a good hot chocolate during the upcoming snowy weather? I think hot chocolate is by far the best choice when it's snowing because it's very romantic. You see a lot of snow coming down. Okay, you see a lot of snow coming down. And, all right, thank you for being here. When you see a lot of snow coming down, because people associate snowing, that nice scenery, to be romantic, hot chocolate will work extremely well. It worked too well. But if you take hot chocolate right now during a rain, she might not say yes. She may not drink coffee, even though it's very delicious at Tim Hortons. We call it double-double. 2 sugars, 2 creams. You remember that, right, David? When you were at my boot camp, always made you. Well, we went to Tim Hortons and other places. You got laid. So, having said that, right? Exactly. It was so good, wasn't it? Remember the steep tea? That was fucking delicious, wasn't it? Right? The big ass steep tea. We bought like a huge one, right? We call it triple, right? Remember that? Right? And then you fuck that chick, right? Right? And then your last day before the airport. So that's awesome. Then you got a Latina girlfriend afterwards, right? So having said that, very crazy event, right? You had to deal with objections. Do you remember that? When you sexualized it because you pulled, and then you dealt with the objections. I told you what to text. You were doing aeroscience in a boot camp way back then. the same aeroscience technology that's being taught in 2023, right? You almost lost her if you didn't follow the objections dealing, right? So that's the funny thing. If you didn't do that, she would have been gone. You sexualized it by polling her, but then on the text, you dealt with the objections. She gave what, 3 objections in a row, exactly like 2023. They always give 3 in a row. That's why most of the other dating coaches out there don't have late testimonials, because they don't know how to overcome the 3 testimonials. I mean, the 3 objections. Because her left brain's affected by the inflation, because the cost of living is high. She's always going to be under stress. So with the weather and all this rain and shit, it is going to be bad. So having said that, you know, it was epic. You fucking banged her. You fucked her right before you left, and then you felt so good. And you took the same energy and you got a Latina girlfriend, a fiance with my training. Congratulations. Let's give all a hand of applause for David over here, right? So he's been with her for many, many years. Congratulations, right? Congratulations. Yeah, what's up, Marco? Marco's my other student, the guy who got the fucking same day lay. No, I mean he's the guy who got the fucking girlfriend, right? Marco's got the fucking white fuck buddy. And he also has a Latina girlfriend on the side. So you might be wondering, what the fuck? That's him over there. You're looking at my students here. You're like, how the fuck are they showing up? Because I haven't been alive for a long time. They are over here, but you can see the results. Let's play Marco's result a little bit. I don't want to bore you guys, but I want to make sure you guys understand that this stuff really does fucking work. Okay? So having said that, do you want to say something, Marco? Or I can phone you and then you can say something online. But just to let you know, before we go on talking about next strategy on fashion, let's listen to what Marco's testimonial is. All right. The reason why I'm leaving it here, I want to make sure everybody sees my testimonials in 2023, although this was May. Let's quickly hear it.
Report for May 2023.
We'll just play fast.
This girl, white American girl, and we went on a date. I ended up pulling in the car. I came closer, and John got really pissed off at me. He kicked me out of elite access.
Exactly.
But he showed me how to get it done with his training. The objections.
Hey, Marco, most Latinos don't actually fuck white girls during the inflation or a pandemic, right? They just fuck Latinas, or they fuck black women or Asians, right? How does it feel like to fuck a white girl and have her as a fuck buddy while you having a girlfriend on the side at the time of this testimonial?
Feeling and sexualizing to the max.
How does it feel?
And I went to the training again. And the second time, pulled the white girl again to my car and close in the bed. It works with his new method, the Aero Theory for 2023.
Aero Theory, Aero Science. You see that? That same Aero Science David's been using over here. Remember? Maneuver, which he done. He maneuver back home to the hostel in the boot camp. Like I said, you don't need a boot camp in 2023 with my training. A bench hold camp. That's what I call it. Boot camp is called bench hold camp, because you can bench hold and waste like a lot of money. That means I don't care. I mean, good for David taking my boot camp. But if I can get you guys laid, and Marco over here with a white girl fuck buddy with a girlfriend on the side, you don't need a fucking bench hold camp. Other coaches need you in the bench hold camps, even though there's no late testimonials to show for it. Doesn't fucking exist like UFOs. Doesn't fucking exist. There's not a single piece of evidence. Only I am posting evidence. And people are angry because I can't stop posting late testimonials. Wait until you see the student with 15 fucking lays, and then 5 white girls, 5 models, 2 actresses, and he married one of the actresses.
By John Elite is a new thing. New training, guys.
Aeroscience.
Now.
Oh, yeah. I took down the Aeroscience bundle because it was confusing. I have moved all the contents of the Aeroscience bundle into the Elite bundle too. We're going to make that the premier bundle. All right. Don't mind my hair. I'm very sick today. So, but you get the point. That's Marco over there. Let's continue. All right. So what to do next? Because who doesn't love a good hot chocolate during upcoming snowy weather? You can sip coffee or tea during the rain, which will work most of the time. But if you're Canadian, you want to get a medium-sized steep tea. And it's called triple, right? I remember when me and David, right? when we were getting a steep tea. We got like an extra large steep tea. Right? It was so fucking delicious. And it was brand new too. You can literally tell Tim Hortons, listen, I want a brand new steep tea. They'll pour it down the drain. They'll start all over. It's like the steep tea is like a pink drink, right? So for all the Canadians there, most women have never tried a steep tea. So if you see the idea of going for a steep tea, she's going to love it, especially during this weather. Oh, you should try a steep tea, right? So you want to walk and talk with her in the mall after 6 minutes, but you don't have my style of game. You don't have the social skill flow drill, which David learned and Marco is not too good at, but still, it doesn't fucking matter. You still got a white fuck buddy and a Latina girlfriend who's hot. So, having said that, start having a plan in your mall. Try to figure out where are all the locations for the food court and where's all the Tim Hortons or your equivalent of it in your country. You may have different things like Dunkin' Donuts or whatever the fuck you have over there, right? So, having said that, let's continue. So make sure you get a triple. So if you guys are Canadian, get like a medium triple. You don't want her pissing all day with a large or extra large, right? The extra large steep tea. Everyone's willing to drink tea, right? You just tell her, she's like, what does it taste like? You're like, oh, it tastes kind of like hot milk tea, like Chinese milk tea, but it's very delicious. She can't wait to try it. And both of you be very, very, very relaxed when you drink it. Do you remember that, David? When you're drinking that tea, you feel more relaxed and she'll feel more relaxed, and that's good for the rain. So, all right. So triple. If you're getting coffee, right, make sure it's not too late because you can't sleep. If it's earlier, get a double from Tim Hortons. 2 sugar, 2 cream. Almost tastes like hot chocolate. So it makes her calm. So calm she may cream more than just her drink, like her panties. But trust me, the mouth-watering sweetness of hot chocolate, right? With her, with the weather when it's snowing, it's really good. Since I'm making this advice tailored for even the rain and the snow, which you will experience very soon. Because if I don't make this video and it's snowing, you're going to make excuses and I'm going to get less students. I need more late testimonials. I know I'm going to fill the 2023 full of late testimonials from 2023, which other coaches don't have. But that's not good enough. I want more. You're like, what the fuck, John? There's an inflation. We barely have the $500. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. The John Elite Army gets built. It gets bigger. And I get more students. I don't care about your fucking excuses. Let's continue. Look at that. I just triggered somebody and they ran away. Just like that. You can just say boo and they'll run away. Let's continue. So here comes the moment of truth. Maneuver the conversation. You can also maneuver her towards a convenient store. Let's say this is your second venue. You can stay calm and confident as you casually grab a box of condoms to sexualize it. You're like, what? This is just one thing you can do. You can literally go for your next venue in the mall to Tim Hortons. You go outside the pharmacy, you buy a box of condoms just for yourself. And she's going to start to feel embarrassed. Like, what the fuck? I'm not saying everyone needs to do that. Be socially calibrated. If you have low SMV, she's going to think you're a fucking crazy creep. But if you're like decent looking, you can get away with shit like this. You can get away with more. So that sexualizes it. And then you can just deal with the objections on the way back home. Should be more likely. Let's say you didn't have your own poll location, but this will more likely get her to go to her poll location, or you can bring her to a hotel because you bought a box of condoms in front of her. She can't say anything about it. She's along for the ride. You just buy it. I'm not saying everyone should do that. Be very calibrated. It's very funny, but very true. So by showing your readiness for any situation, you demonstrate your confidence and you intrigue her further. Of course, objections may arise on the way to the poll location, whether it's her place or yours. So this is where aeroscience comes into play. You maneuver, sexualize, and deal with the objections. Marco, do you remember the first time that you did not follow aeroscience and you pulled a chick to your car, you maneuvered, right? Do you remember that, Marco? And then afterwards, I was like, You motherfucker, you didn't fucking deal with the objections. That what objections? Remember that? And I got so angry, I kicked you on my program. But somehow after I kicked you out, your mindsets went back up. You went back in the inner circle. You start learning how to do the arrow science. And then that's how you got your Latina girlfriend, right? And also white girl, because you followed the instructions. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because after you fucked up, it's not just you, the other Latino student, 21-year-old from New York, got a same day lay. But he was ignoring the objections looping or the sexualizing, right? It's all science, exactly. So both David here and Marco, both of them did exactly the same things: maneuver, sexualize, objection looping. You don't need alcohol. You don't. So let's continue. Of course, you can't learn any objections looping technology without my training or how to sexualize properly. So I suggest you grab the Elite Bundle 2 now, because the Arrow Science bundle is now removed and incorporated in the Elite Bundle 2 to avoid confusion. So, because there's too many fucking bundles. And the Elite Bundle 2 has non-stop lead testimonials this year without a fucking bencho camp or boot camp. And even students day gaming in unfavorable situations. But guess what? Here's a new offer. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to make this for. Listen carefully. For Elite Bundle 2, if you guys can get laid in 3 months during the rain, I'm not sure how long I'll keep this for. If you can get laid with having resilience, you're out there fucking doing it. Give a thumbs up if you guys learning something. If you guys can do it, I'll give you the inner circle so you can join Marco here, Dave, and other people, my superstar students. In the inner circle, you can see all the people that got laid who are part of the inner circle. I'll give it for 6 months. Sounds like a good deal. You don't get laid and you don't have resilience and you're a fucking zombie, and too fucking bad. But I'm saying the reason why I'm offering 6 months of my inner circle for any guys here that joins the Elite Bundle 2 and gets laid in 3 months of the date you got it. Anyone that does that will be rewarded with 6 months of the inner circle. You understand that? You'll meet all the other superstars and you'll be training in group coaching. I don't allow a lot of people to join, but since I am purging a lot of people, a lot of bad students are being removed right now. Since I'm purging like crazy, I want to replenish new super soldiers for my training. Does that make sense? I want a new group of super soldiers. So what's resilience? You need a lot of resilience in the rain. I had a new WhatsApp group full of the inner circle, okay, people, and in elite access. And one of the things I talked about was that you may be practicing Kaizen, like you're in the arena, right? Practicing the drills and stuff. But if you can't go out there because of cortisol, the stress hormone, that's not good enough. You need to like do it out there too. I had a student from Kaizen who's Latino or half Latino. He was full of cortisol, so it made it very hard to approach. He shifted blame on me, saying, this is your parameter. Look, I'm not here to embarrass him. He has the right to his privacy. But he had so much cortisol, he had no resilience. He only made 1 or 2 approaches a day. The number 2 is very important for resilience. You have to do things more than 2 times. Most of the guys who have no resilience for some of the students are very good looking guys too. There's an Asian guy from Canada who joined. He's super good looking. He's tall. But he never approached more than once or twice. The number 2. I have other students who is Indian from Australia. Before I almost kicked him out as he half-assed everything. He only approached twice. That's it. Number 2. You need more than 2 for resilience. You must not only practice the drills like they do, you also have to get into the fucking ring more than twice. All right, let's continue as I'm digressing or, I'm off topic. So fear not, my enlightened day gamers, because she'll follow you. She'll follow you. And of course, you don't have to just buy a box of condoms. You can sexualize it with sexual stories and stuff. You can talk about doing it in public, and you can do all sorts of mini routines, right? Or you can have this pinky promise thing that one day you'll have sex, but not today. That's one way of doing it. Just promise one day we'll have sex, but we won't, not today, right? It doesn't have to be today, but just one day you're not open to or you're not closed off to the possibility. The point is to get her sexualized to the max, not half-ass it like, that's what she said. Ha, 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 ha. Right? Oh, is what? That's what she said. Oh, fuck this shit. If you half-ass sexualize it, you MP or UAP style, and you half-ass it, she's going to be off the line. She'll leave the very fucking second you do that. When I had that student, that was 15 lays, 5 models, 5 white girls, 2 actresses. As soon as he got rid of DHV stories, he got rejected 100% of the time. He's going to call out these coaches, these tall self-proclaimed coaches, in his testimonial, which I'll be posting a preview of, just like other students would be calling them out, sexualizing it, and UAP style, whatever the fuck. Those people, they'll be called out because their stuff don't work for little short ethnic Asians, of like my 5'8" student who's still taller than me. Before he got no results. You know that for Daygame. He only got 1 lay in as an Asian passport bro in Latin countries. 1 fucking lay. After 5 years after RSD bootcamp. And went on Tinder. He got over 100 lays on Tinder. So, of course, he still used my technology for the 6 algorithms for the Instagram. It helped him even boost it further. But however, when he trained with me, those 15 lays are always going up in quality. Up and up and up and up. UAP or that other style, whatever the fucking company, their students may have a few lays here and there, but they're always a 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, sexualizing it. But you never sexualize it to the max, right? Just like what Marco did and what David here did. And when he did that, they dealt with the objections and they banged her. You don't just chop down the objections like objections threshold or compliance threshold. That never works. It's like karate. You got to grab the uniform and throw the objection over your shoulder. She's going to resist it. But you do it over and over. Of course, I have a patented special way that you guys will not know unless you train with me. So having said that, you can do a lot of things when she's outside. Another way to preemptive an objection in case you don't have a pole location, you can process. No, you could say that if she ever had sex with you, you can ask her, right? Listen, have you ever had sex with your boyfriend in a sleazy hotel before, right? That's a good way to sexualize it. She's like, what? What kind of question is that? That's what you say to her. You ever had sex in the cheap hotel, right? A sleazy cheap hotel with your boyfriend. Now she's thinking about sex, and you're seeding the idea that to have sex, in a hotel. That's one of the things you can do. Let's say you already done the pinky promise. You already sexualized it. You already did something to sexualize it. Buy a box of condoms. Whatever the fuck. Of course, it doesn't mean it's easy. Without my training, you may know what to do for the arrow science, like a little bit. It doesn't mean you can do it without the social skills, social calibrations, emotional control. Because that's the arrow body. You may know a little bit of the arrow tip. In the whitewash fashion is the feather. The V-shaped body too. But it's not enough. However, saying that, when you sexualize it, or in case she doesn't have a boyfriend before, you can say, has she ever gone with another guy in a cheap hotel and banged? Now, because you say stuff like that, and you already dealt with the objections, you already sexualized it, you could offer to pay for the hotel dealing with objections. You can always say in your ethnicity, whether you're Asian, it is polite for the Asian guy in our culture. It's bullshit, of course. It's bullshit. You can say it is customary in our culture to pay for the hotel. So make sure that you take the responsibility off of her. Then then it's easier to pull her back home if you don't have a pole location. Does that make sense? Because you sexualized it. You don't just pull and schedule to the house like 200 phone number closes like they're Asian students, right? With self-proclaimed tall coaches. 200 numbers dressed like shit. Is not a threshold or whatever bullshit. It's not about this. It's about... Shut the fuck up. I have more lay testimonials than you. If you go look at their testimonial page, we can go one by one right now and type in their page, and we can see which students did not get laid. They're on YouTube. There's like, oh, this coach is legit, or I got over red pill, or some shit like that. That would be a fucking testimonial. Like more, like I'm not sure if it's half or less, but If we delete all those fake testimonials that are not laid testimonials, and we delete fucking Tinder shit, Tinder doesn't count. I'll tell you why it doesn't count. It's so fucking stupid. Tinder, imagine somebody else, right? If you have a fucking flow chart and pictures, you could hire a fucking assistant to swipe for you. Somebody else can swipe for you. Some fucking Filipino from the Philippines can swipe for you. Or some Indian on Fiverr can swipe for you. Just, this is what you text her if this happens. And then you send the WhatsApp number. How is that a lay count? That's just displaying white meat. It's like you need 10 or a 12 out of 35 to get laid from Tinder. 10 is already being white, just 2-point text game. So there's like, oh, we got all the student results. It's not fucking student results. They could get somebody else on Fiverr to swipe for them. How the fuck is that even pickup? It's not pickup. It doesn't fucking count. Doesn't fucking count. Stupid. However, saying that, night game at least counts as something. In day game, I have pickup late testimonials. Day game and night game. If you look at all my late testimonials, a lot of coaches, they think they're gods. Always think they're gods. I'm a god. I'm so great. I got nonstop 2023 late testimonials for day game. Nobody's ever seen it before. It's like UFOs. We never seen any fucking proof. It doesn't exist. I bet eventually they're just going to end up with 2, right? They're just going to be like, oh, something happened, right? I lost a lot of the testimonials. I still got 2 left. That's my prediction. 2, right? That's what they're going to do. They're going to deceive you. It's going to be a complete farce. Or all the other coaches teaching the mystery method stuff on the forum groups. 0 late testimonials, 0 for ABCs of attraction. Hey, how the fuck can you get 0 late testimonials for Daygame for 2022, 2023? Are you taking their money? If you go to the forum groups and you see these PUA forum groups, you look around. Where the fuck are the late testimonials? Nobody got laid, but everyone's worshiping the mystery method. They're all sucking off the mystery method. Nobody's getting laid from that. Only my students are getting laid and getting their dicks wet. Only my students in 2023. This debunks many things. This debunks bencho camps. This also debunks their day game courses. This debunks the mystery method. This debunks worshiping infields. This debunks worshiping dating coaches. All those are debunked because 2023 is not the easiest year, is it? But my students get laid nonstop. Unless you're a fucking zombie with cortisol, then you will not get laid. Because I had a student Kaizen that fucked up talking super fast. Too fast. She's going to feel nervous when you talk fast. And it's going to be a race to the bottom. Only 2 times, the word resilient, 2 times, has he ever talked slow. And it lasts a long time. So that's why, for him, I still think he'll get laid if he just keeps getting phone number closes and farming, being tall and stuff. He'll still get laid. But he can't do it in a skillful way, like my students. Marco, you know, how many approaches did it take for you to get that lay over here? Right? For that white girl. 5, right? Same with your Latina girlfriend, right? 5. Am I right? 5. Confirm it, Marco, to the rest of the world. Was it 5 approaches for each? And David, how many approaches did it take for you to bang that chick on the boot camp? Wasn't it 5? This is way back then too. The students are getting laid in like 1 to 6 approaches. And that's the fucked up thing is nobody's going to my fucking webinar. You're like, what do you mean, John? Nobody's going to the webinar now. I don't know why. Everyone's depressed. You should check out the webinar at www.johnnyelite.com. There's no more HTTPS or whatever. Fuck. Right? No, most of my students late come from day game. Night game rarely happens. I don't teach night game. So I don't give a fuck about night game because that's what ABCs of attraction and other mystery method. It's always about night game because if I said Tinder is 12 out of 35, you're white, you get 10 points, good pictures. Swipe, you can hire an Indian from India to swipe for you on Fiverr and then send you the number to WhatsApp. That's not even a lay count. But however, night game is only 15 out of 35. 15. You don't need social skills or emotional control because it's a loud fucking nightclub. People are drunk. That's why Asians can get laid during the fucking night game for ABCs of low self-esteem in Latin countries because it's easier. But day game is way harder. They cannot get laid testimonials with the misery method because you need 20 out of 35. Or they say, oh, it's all survival and replication value. That's how it is. In reality, the 12 out of 35. The 15 out of 35 is what gets their students laid. I don't count the fucking Tinder shit. Only the pickups shit. That's why they have so few day game laid testimonials. Hey, they still had a few with a huge numbers game. They had this stupid mentally challenged thing. They have like thousands of students and maybe one of them gets laid. That's tall and white or tall and black or tall and Latino, whatever the fuck. But they're little Asians, the little token Asians, they don't get any results. The little token Indians don't get any fucking results. It's just like a numbers game. Even London Day Game can create like a large challenge, get people to join up. They'll still end up with like one student laid. It's so unimpressive. In their immersion programs or immerse programs, where the fuck they are, their bench hold programs, nobody got laid for day game. It's just all fucking Tinder. It's just like a circle jerk of Tinder shit and night game shit. Day game is just pulled to the house, nothing happens. It's like 200 numbers, 4 scheduled to the house. Low odds of success. Marco over here, 5 approaches, gets a hot Latina girlfriend. 5 approaches, gets a white fuck buddy. David over here, 5 approaches, gets laid on my boot camp. You see a pattern here? And we look at the other students over here. We look, okay, so some Indian guy, I always believe there are 3 types of students. So this is to the Indian guy in, I'm not sure if you're like, yeah. He's out. Do you have any testimonials for really short guys? Have you ever looked at my lay testimonials? A lot of students are 5'4". They're 5'4". Go look at my testimonial section and read the height. Do some fucking research. And here's the problem with your mindset. During this inflation, I always believe there are 3 things, right? There are 3 types. Number 1, we got the ninjas. Marco here is a fucking ninja because he has resilience and he can level up. That's what ninjas do. They don't just mass approach, swing their fucking game sword. Their fucking game sword. They're going to swing their fucking game sword. That's a fucking samurai. Even my other student was a samurai. Even my other student is a samurai. I'll show you. Okay. So, John Elite. One guy got laid. He's a tall, good-looking guy, but he used to do 100 approaches to a lay, and he was fucking tired of it. Right here. This guy, white guy. He fucking got laid in 3 approaches that day with Elite 30 from Hard Case to Hero. 3 fucking approaches, 19 years old. He is 33 years old. He's an older guy. He's 33 years old. He bangs a 19-year-old who's 8 out of 10 looks. You're like, what the fuck? Before, it wasn't even like that. Before, it was just a huge numbers game. Swinging the game sword. That's called a samurai. He actually wrote in his testimonial, he switched to a ninja from a samurai. Now he finally knew real power because in 2 days of him practicing in front of the mirror, most of you will not practice for more than 2 days. This is what I call resilience, the number of 2. None of you will actually do it more than twice because you just shut down for your severe ADHD. He already fucking pulled a chicken finger banger in 2 days. And he loved Elite 30. But he did not join me afterwards. I told him I can get him from 41 lays now, which he has. 100 approaches each. I can get him to a 100 in the shortest time possible with the highest quality. He always wanted more quality. Now he banged 8 out of 10, 19-year-old. How is he going to top that? Before, he probably was getting like 6'7", 6'7", 6'6", Now he's getting like 8. I mean, some of these other students that got laid are not tall either. So we got a 5'8" Chinese guy got laid in 1 approach from Elite 30 last month. Do you see a pattern here? 5'8".
This is 2023. This girl was my first approach. There was no flake. My first approach after becoming John's student, and she's a white girl. I'm Chinese, 5'8". I live in the U.S. I signed up for John's class about 2 weeks ago, and then yesterday I got my first lay. It was
Yeah, sorry I banned you because you weren't listening to my advice for business. Poor people do that, but like I said, I banned a lot of people, right? Ban shows. But after the ban, they should come back stronger. But they come back weaker, then they're fucked.
It was at the park. I met this girl. I used an indirect opener, and when I started talking,
The hybrid
she
opener.
was very friendly. And
The hybrid opener, exactly the same opener. When people say that the opener doesn't fucking matter, right? These stupid white coaches, they're so certain of it because they mass approach. This is how they talk, like with arrogance, right? When does the opener ever matter? The opener doesn't. That's how they talk. Like it's like, fuck you, right? The opener doesn't matter. That's that. They point their fingers in the air, declaring. These stupid white self-proclaimed coaches, yeah, and they agree. My students just say, "Can I meet you real quick?" And the other guy's like, "It doesn't matter." Well, for this white student who used to take 100 fucking approaches going direct, he did the hybrid opener. He got laid in 3 approaches. Are you sure it doesn't fucking matter? Marco does the hybrid opener, gets laid in 5 approaches. This fucking Chinese student, 5'8", from China, living in the United States, he did the hybrid opener. That tall white guy did the hybrid opener. Are you sure that the fucking opener does not matter? Because these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This is why I have all the late testimonials. Nobody has it. How does this day game industry have 0 late testimonials for every other fucking coach, or maybe like self-proclaimed high late account guy, maybe a few due to chance? How the fuck is there 0? Because all your fucking theories failed during inflation. They all failed because now it became super difficult. Everyone claims they have nonstop late testimonials, but there's no fucking proof. Like UFOs, they claim it's all real, right? But we don't see any proof, except for my students. It's just a beginning.
I used a statement just making a comment about some decoration in her hair, and she was interested in talking. So
indirect adaptive opener, that's what he did.
I just used the active listening skill. I didn't interrupt her. I didn't talk much. I just said, okay. I locked my eye contact, and so this whole time we were talking, and I remembered I used body language to keep my chest up.
There's a social calibrations, right? That nobody knows. There's the same fucking social calibrations that David learned, the same one Marco learned, the same one the white student learned, the same one that Chinese student learned. Don't you get it?
This whole time. And so we talked for about like 15 minutes, and I was lucky. She was very talkative, and I think it was because my body language was right and my eye contact was really focused on. I was actively listening, so she was really encouraged and motivated.
The more you're actively listening and nodding when she's talking, the key words, right? The more she's going to open up. Imagine you're a fucking narcissist. You just can't wait to talk about yourself. You're like this, right? You're like, hey, you know what's great about me? You know what else is great about me? You know what else is great about me? She's going to roll her fucking eyes like she's having a fucking seizure. And she's be like, shut the fuck up. She's not going to walk with you anywhere during the rain. We're a little bit off topic here, but yes, exactly. Because you want to be curious. If you're not curious about her and you're a narcissist with no emotions, how the fuck is she going to open up? People love talking about themselves. People love it even more when you're genuinely curious. But it doesn't mean you're doing a zombie statement and then short fucking answer, and then a question, short fucking answer, another fucking statement, short answer. Let's continue. So you got the point. So you can offer to pay for a hotel, and you're dealing objections, you're looping it. Of course, without the arrow science, you would just keep trying to wear down the objections, like the compliance threshold with tall white dating coaches. It'll never fucking work if you're not a tall person karate chopping the objections. Because he's karate chopping with values, status maxing, denial. It's all survival and replication values, not 15 out of 35. It's not 12 out of 35. It's not 20 out of 35. It's all survival and replication value. Chop, chop, chop. Nope. So if you have all these advantages, SMV advantages, money advantages, they say, well, she doesn't know I have any money. Well, if you can travel, if you're the white guy in a fucking country where everyone's poor, that's still status. Because there's 5 fucking traits of status. Your ethnicity. If you're white, 10 out of 10. High status job. Oh, I'm a DJ, right? It's like, okay. Third world money status advantage. Well, I didn't start whatever I start in this country in the United States and I travel later on. Doesn't fucking matter. The fact that you travel gives you third world money status advantage. And then it's like, oh yeah, whatever, exotic advantage. That's when everyone's one certain, like, ethnicity, all Latinas, and you're the white guy. Or if you're an Asian guy and they're all white, you have a status maxing in Europe. But in Latin countries, you get the point? Even that Chinese student with 15 lays, he tried to do this shit. He didn't even get laid at all in Latin countries from Daygame. Seriously. He didn't. Only one before he met me. And 15 lays afterwards. In my training. He fucked a white girl in one approach too. Same day lay. In Berlin. First approach. So now you have all these advantages, and then it's like, oh, a student gets results. So what? That's like fucking 12 out of 35, right? Fucking Tinder shit. Who gives a shit? Just get the elite bundle too, guys. I need as many soldiers as possible. We need to stop fucking wasting time. I'm accepting Indian students that are not from India. If you're from India, you are not allowed to join. I'm not racist. Indians are two-faced backstabbing benchholds in India. As soon as the 2022 inflation hit, they all stabbed me in the back at the same time. They all their eyes turned red. They lost their fucking minds. So they're all banned. However, I don't ban students from India living in the West because your ADHD is good enough that you're able to move out. But the ones who cannot move out are sociopaths, backstabbing pieces of shit with the crazy eyes, the psycho eyes. Fuck these people. Like, no offense, not to be racist. Lots of my students are Indian. For example, another student who just got laid is also Indian, believe it or not. This guy.
I did want to make a video testimonial
This guy, Indian.
regarding my recent lay. And all credits are due to John Elite. His teaching and his coaching are beyond any other coaches or any other products out in the market.
Indians are some of my favorite students. They're all over the inner circle. Also the inner circle WhatsApp group I just created. I have so many Indian students.
So I met this lady.
But there's not a lot of resilience. The number 2. So no, living in India, you're not allowed to train with me.
Mall, and this was my 5th approach of the day. Oh, I got soft rejections before, and then when I met her, I number closed her and I brought her out. Before I even approached these girls, I was a part of John Elite's students that are,
Hold on a second.
course, and I really want to thank him for even helping me get through some of the tough times, the hard times of my dating life, and his course definitely helped me out. And he did mention that Indians apparently they're the most ADHD out of all groups of men out there. And I just want to say to my Indian brothers that you guys need to step it up and focus.
There's no resilience and super ADHD. That's why they have this double chin thing, right? Of course, I had double chin and cortisol when you were looking at my YouTube shorts, right? Made from the YouTube lives around 2020 or 2021. I had a huge double chin. I never had a double chin in my life. I never been fat before. I had so much cortisol in my system. I was very stressed out. It's fine now. You don't see any fat on my fucking chin, right? That's great. There's no fat here. It's angular and shit. But I know what it felt like to have that much cortisol in your systems. Indians have so much cortisol. They're all skinny fat. They're all all Indians are like this these days. All fucking loose skin because of the vegetarian diet. Everyone's a vegan, right? Loose skin. They look skinny, but they're just fucking fat hanging off their skin. That does not increase your SMV. What's going to increase your SMV is if, Vivek versus Shrami, right? The guy who's a presidential candidate with a whitewash tonality, if he becomes vice president or something, that's going to raise your SMV because whitewash Indians are the future, not bencho Indians. Nobody likes bencho Indians. You see all these YouTube shorts when I talk about that fashion is really repulsive to white women. It is so bad. One time in Australia, I had a student who's stocky Indian. He barely does any work. I made him dress as Indian as humanly possible. Believe it or not, you might say, well, that sounds mean. I made his hairstyle as messy as possible. I made him grow a bencho beard on purpose in Australia. And on top of that, I made him wear a pink flannel dress shirt. Or, those Indian work shirts, as they call it in India. I made him wear like a dark colored jeans. I made him wear sneakers. Every time he tries to approach a woman in Australia, they all ran away. They all were disgusted. They're like, ew. Then afterwards, I made him wear a fucking blazer. I made him wear the same dress shirt, everything. He could not get rejected, and they're all interested in him. He got a haircut. He did all this stuff properly. All of them were into him, and he went on a date too with a Colombian, because he's in IT tech. There, he went on a date with a coworker who's really hot, who's a Colombian chick, who's also very smart. Usually, I associate them being dumbasses, but she's very intelligent. All that happened, even though he barely does any fucking work. Indians do not have high SMV unless they're whitewashed, blackwashed, or Latino washed. Unless you look like a different ethnicity, you don't have access to their value. Let's continue.
And I'll tell you this, I didn't use any alcohol. I didn't use any status maxing. I'm Indian. I don't have any SMV. I don't have as much as you think. It was just pure tactics, strategies, emotional intelligence, social calibration, all of that, which helped me get my success. And now I've actually converted her to a fuck buddy, which is great. She just made me breakfast and dinner, and I just came back from that. And I'm so happy because I was actually at a dark place. I wasn't even able to approach, and I was getting 0 matches on online dating. And so my dating life was a complete disaster. And finally, just by being, and to even be a part of John Elite's inner circle, just to allow you in. And by me being part of that, I was able to take one of the classes here. And I'm a lifelong member of the Elite Inner Circle. And when I took that approach anxiety class, I implemented the strategy. And one thing I've actually converted her to a...
Okay, you get the point. You get the point. So basically, there's going to be samurais, as we talk about. There's going to be resilient ninjas like Marco. But there's also going to be fucking peasants. Fucking peasants. These guys, right? 63% of men will be single and they won't procreate. This is the peasants. They're poor, they're cheap, they don't believe in themselves. These are the guys without resilience. Number 2. They'll never approach more than twice. When you train them, they love to make excuses and they love to procrastinate. They'll never make it. I'm trying to filter out as many fucking peasants as possible. I don't want to train you. Imagine all that stress. I need fucking ninjas. This is a ninja camp. These are trained killers, metaphorically speaking. Navy SEALs. Even Kaizen. Some of my students, they get laid. Some of them, they get fucked up. Because they have cortisol. Right? The fucking samurais. Half-assing it. I'm looking for ninjas. I'm looking for toughness. I'm looking for cycles. I'm looking for people without emotions and people without cortisol. You know? Not to say anything about Marco, but I'm just saying we need people like him where they can take a fucking punch. Marco can get knocked down, get back up, level up. He does not give a fuck. He has emotions, yeah? But he's resilient. Marco is a resilient motherfucker. He's super fucking resilient. He could take a punch. Nothing stops him. He's a machine, like a Terminator. That's what makes him good. I'm looking for Terminators. I'm looking for Navy SEALs. I'm looking for John Wicks, metaphorically speaking. I'm not looking for peasants. Peasants can go fuck themselves. I create elite access for the fucking peasants. You know that course? Where I teach you how to budget your fucking money? I teach you how to save on food costs. But these fucking ADHD benchotes was too fucking ADHD to go through elite focus. So I took the fucking course away. Now it's part of the elite bundle too. So if you want to bite the hand that feeds you, and be super ADHD and poor, and I kicked out a few poor students too recently. And fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck you, man. Elite focus was created for you to save all of you from the fucking inflation, just to make sure you can focus for aeroscience, because the inner game is important too. But what did they do? They spit in my fucking face. They ignored it, and I took it away. You know? It's like giving pearls of wisdom to pigs. They'll trample it under their feet and they'll attack you. That's how they're like. Ungrateful. Let's continue with the thing. So by creating let's see. So by creating conversation, I don't mean like doing 300 romantic flirts during Insta date. So if you're low SMV ethnics, you will not be able to use romance with the boyfriend and girlfriend frame. So even if you try to sexualize it too, it won't work because even 1% of romance will put you off the line. You will just pull her home and not close due to you not fitting into the romantic frame like the boyfriend and girlfriend. I will not condone anyone trying to get her drunk because that's the thing. Because romance, the frame, most guys don't fit into the romantic frame. Just a little bit. So you have to get her drunk to make it work with a bottle of champagne or mixing Pepsi with vodka. My Indian students always use alcohol. These guys from India living in the West always use, like, what kind of Indian are you? Are you native Indian or Indian India or India Indian? Why is it always alcohol? Every single fucking time. It's like, dude, use alcohol again, I'll kick you out. Oh, but I had to use alcohol, John. They always get stuck because when they use the arrow science, then they get late, those guys. When they use the arrow science, and they get, into a long-term relationship for those Indians. Never ever use alcohol. You never want to get her drunk because she can't object to it. The only reason why it works is because of Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome means that even if you had sex with her, you are the captor, just like Andrew Late, or Russell Brand. You escalate so hard, you start fingering her, you start fucking her. She's not ready, but she drinks even more because she wants to get it over with. But then because you kind of fit into the boyfriend-girlfriend frame just a tiny little bit, she'll forgive it. Just like when, people that robs the bank. When they rob the fucking bank, and then they side with the captors, right? To be on their side so they can survive. You're creating the same Stockholm Syndrome using alcohol and romance. Romance equals alcohol equals Stockholm Syndrome. Never use fucking alcohol. That's what they teach. That's why the choruses never work for Daygame with romance, ever. You ever wonder why? Never once has it worked. Just like the UFO concept. We always hear about how great it is, how it's the best of all time. I mean, it's the best of the century. But my course, Elite 30, is the best of all time because it works. No alcohol involved. Their stuff never works. Exactly. This is like real talk here. And here's some more facts. JP, why the fuck were you stonewalling me when I was telling you the fucking truth? When I told you that Latinos don't fucking do shit and you're too fucking slow adapting. And then you became a fucking peasant. And I said you couldn't join Elite Access. Come on now. Don't be a hypocrite. Today I was super sick. I'm feeling better now, but I still showed up. So, fuck, I have to use the bathroom eventually. So I haven't ate anything all day. I'm completely fluish, but I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do it anyways. I'm not against alcohol because you're Indian. That's why you're not against it. All Indians use alcohol, the benchod. Right? I'm not against it. Good for you. But you're Indian. Of course you're going to use it because you think it gets rid of your fucking accent somehow. You think she doesn't care about that because she's a little bit drunk. She can't give you objections because you have no fucking game. I'm not against it. No, but that's exactly what you mean subconsciously. Indians always have to use alcohol because subconsciously they believe their accent is going to get in their fucking way. Let's continue. So my Indian students always use alcohol. Don't do it. If it overcomes the objections and resistance, don't do it. You do it properly with the arrow science, but it doesn't overcome the law. Using romance and Stockholm Syndrome is not the answer. Sure, you may have sex with her, and you might Russell Brand her, or Andrew Late her, the digital pimp guy, borderline grape. But this will never get her to, this will get her to submit. But that's the thing. Maybe with the romance in the boyfriend and girlfriend frame might help her side with the captor, like Stockholm Syndrome. But even due to your sociopathic death stare, they never feel guilt or remorse. So they do it. They just look at you with that Indian bench-holding eyes, and like the students or the Indians, they're like, "I'll use alcohol." Crazy death stare. They'll stab you in the back. Or any students with a death stare. But this is systematic borderline grape, which I never will condone. So don't use alcohol ever, or you get kicked out of my coaching. I don't care if it loosens you up. I would rather you convert her with the arrow of science. Why? Because you piqued her interest by being different, by being human. Your social calibrations combined with social skills with this newfound approach will leave her curious and eager to explore new horizons with you. Of course, if you're narcissistic on the date and talking super fast, full of cortisol, and talking only about yourself, she won't like you, trust you, or be willing to go home with you. I'll say this again. If you're talking super fast, she's not going to like you. She's not going to trust you. And she's not going to be willing to go home with you. How? So what? You're going to use alcohol later? Come on. Hell no. So if they don't use alcohol in their courses and they teach game, but it doesn't show the alcohol crutch, then you can't make the courses for day game ever work in your lifetime. So you get stuck into a bencho camp or boot camp. Then you learn how to use alcohol to bench her like a fucking rapist. And then you lose like 5K of your money after a week. And you feel good about yourself because you didn't realize it was is completely illegal. You didn't realize that. Let's continue. I'll never teach that. And you don't need to spend like 6K with me or whatever the fuck. I could get you laid for like cheap. If you do the fucking work. If you're a samurai, you're fucked. Because samurais cannot adapt to half-ass things. They mass approach because they're zombies. You have to change from a samurai to a ninja. If you are a peasant and you cannot change to a ninja, you're fucked. I'm only looking for ninjas. That's why I'm here. So she won't like you, trust you, go home with you. So gear up for success, embrace the malls, and start enjoying a dating game like never before. Of course, if you're outside, you got her inside the mall, then you go for an instant date. The less you are in the rain, the better, strategically speaking. White girls are waiting for you, my friend. So go out there and make it happen. But now, right, here's the second part that you've been waiting for. I've been talking about earlier that I teased. But how do you day game in the streets if it's raining? What clothing or accessories do you use, right? Or do I recommend? Very simple. Are you tired of looking like a clueless RSD victim while trying to pick up girls during a rainy day? Remember, the reason why I'm talking fast is because I have to take a piss soon. Either I take a piss and I take a break and I continue, or I'll force myself through it. Okay. Sometimes you have lost before you had a chance. No. My students get laid in 1 to 6 approaches consistently. I have 594 lay po testimonials. So that's a complete bullshit lie. So let's talk about the second thing now. We're at the second piece of this. Now here's the advice on what to do when you're outside. One thing I hate is when students said, oh, it's raining. I can't wear the blazer. It's too cold, as they say. It's raining. Like one of my half Latino students in Canada. So the half Latino student, this is what they call the Latino fuck behavior. That's why I wrote down. And a Latino shows up. No offense, JP, but one track mind, only one way to do something. The wrong path, the sociopath, which will get you auto-rejected during the rainy weather, where it fails you in 3 months completely. Also, other unteachable cases have to put this fur hoodie, right? This fucking stupid hoodie, this fucking blue hoodie with fur on it, this completely lowering their fucking value. They're losing their whitewash tone, like their whitewash fashion. They're losing their looks. They're losing their fucking status being whitewashed. You put this over the fucking blazer, your furry, stupid fucking fur jacket. Everyone has a stupid fur jacket because it's raining, John, because I can't wear a blazer because it's too fucking cold. I can't wear a blazer. It's too cold, John. John, it's too cold. I'll get a cold. I'll get a flu. No, you dumb fucking motherfucking piece of shit. This is what you do, okay? You wear like an Under Armour underneath your fucking dress shirt. Under Armour. That means it makes you warmer. You know one of those black Under Armour shirts? Now you can wear your blazer because you have an Under Armour. But John, that's not, I'm still cold. Then wear 2 Under Armours, you dumb fucking zombie. Problem solved. Now you can wear your blazer. What happened if it's raining? Right? It's like, well, because they have a one-track mind for Latinos. But let's face it. Nothing screams self-esteem like low self-esteem more than these RSD hoodies with the fur on the fucking hoodies. So don't fuck with my whitewash husband material algorithms. It's not like self-proclaimed high leg counts people. Oh yeah, because you don't want to dress too nice. It's a threshold thing, right? Because you want to try hard. This is what the science says. This is what the science says. This is pseudoscience, half science using scientific. No, shut the fuck up. 594 lay po testimonials, not a bunch of testimonials where the students don't even get laid. If I were to cross them all out and use a tablet and show you which ones don't get laid, they're just positive comments. What if I remove more than half? What if it's just Tinder shit? I remove even further. And you realize that they don't even have 1,000 testimonials. They have like fucking less than 50 or 70 or something, maybe 60 or something with just pickup. Maybe closer to like 30 or maybe even like 45, 50. They have like fucking 36 video testimonials. Come on now. I already have 150. They have 36. Is it really the same thing? It's just a bunch of 12 out of 35 white people on fucking Tinder. And maybe once in a while in their program, some fucking night game shit. Rarely any day game results unless it's a numbers game. They don't have to give me a chance. I don't need fucking peasants here. I'm looking for ninjas, right? I'm looking for people that are still willing, who will not make excuses. Will not make excuses. I don't want excuses here. I want the toughest motherfuckers alive. That's what I want from my Navy SEALs. The Johnny Elite Navy SEALs. I want the toughest motherfuckers that doesn't give a flying fuck about this pandemic, about this fucking inflation. I want the toughest motherfuckers who don't give a flying fuck. I don't want weak people. Fuck off. I mean, you're not going to make it. You couldn't even stay 2 days approaching. You couldn't even practice twice your whitewash tonality for 2 fucking days. You can't do it because you're lazy and you're fucking full of ADHD and you're a peasant. No, I teach Indians living in the West. Don't twist my words. Johnny Elite teaches Indians that live in Australia, in London, in Canada, in the United States. Johnny Elite does not teach Indians living in India. They're all kicked out. So that proves my point. So if you're executive or living in India, then too fucking bad. Because some fucking Indians there, many of them at the same time in 2022, fucked it up for the rest of you. I'm sorry, but if you live anywhere else, if you move out of India, then you have a chance to train with me. If you're still in India, fuck no. Because they don't. There's too ADHD. There's too much cortisol. Too fucking Asperger's, too autistic to move out of the fucking country. When you get your visa the very first day, right? Then you can train with me. Understand? I'm not bending my rules. Just like all Latinos are kicked out of Kaizen because 3 Latinos did not make it. I still have a 100% success rate for Kaizen, but they never finished the course. They got kicked out or they quit. Latinos are all kicked out, not because I hate Latinos. I have Latino students like Marco over there. Marco got so many lays. He had 2 girlfriends at the same time. He has like fucking more than 10 lays under my coaching. He has a white fuck buddy. But the fucking Latinos cannot go fast because of Latino fuck behavior. In fact, I printed it out here. I'm not sure if I have it here. Hold on a second. Fuck. Here it is. What is the Latino fuck behavior? Okay. Look, here's the mic. It's actually over here. It's hidden here all this fucking time. All right. Latino fuck behavior. All right. JP, you listening? You listening? Watch. People are going to drop off. The Latino fuck behavior. All Latinos are the same. In the past, Latinos have a 7 out of 10 perceived natural status. After the border crisis, it's down to 6 out of 10. Because now their women are actually going towards white men now. They're marrying white men more after the border crisis. Right? And in the past, they could have SMV'd it with ease since they can get multiple girlfriends with ease. This is before the fucking pandemic inflation. Now it's harder. They're stuck because they often are skillless and does everything in one step. That means they throw shit against the wall, just like my Kaizen student, even if they're half Latino, right? But let's be real here. You put even 1% of Latino blood, this to fucking bench hold. Like, this is not good for business. No, people like real talk here. Number one, no instincts for grit. One track mind. Doesn't listen to John Elite. Does it their way. Everything is one step flirts, one step game techniques, not 2 steps or 3 steps. They'll throw shit against the wall and see what sticks, SMVing it. They all talk super fast with women, cortisol. Whoa, that exactly is what happened with the last Kaizen student that failed. Okay, but John, that's just one thing. That's just a coincidence. That's just a coincidence. What's number 2 for Latino fuck behavior? The wrong path, the sociopath. In 4 months, it fails so bad. Complete destruction, one track mind. Only one way to do something until it fails over and over, being stubborn. I had a Latino student that fucking ended up being pistol whipped by the police with his gun taken away, and afterwards thrown in jail. And afterwards, he gets his girlfriend pregnant. It's almost like they act like they're possessed. They do everything their own way because there's some kind of demon or something telling them to do this. I always get a headache around that. I'm psychic. Like in my last YouTube live, I'm psychic. But they got to do it their way. It's like they're possessed. Let's continue. Does it sound familiar? Lots of delays. If it's every 4 months they fail and do some crazy shit, even thinking about them, I get a headache. If it's every 4 months, there's only 3 times they can fuck up in a year. Exactly. Like Dan Pena says, I got to follow the fucking script. Don't change a word on it, not a comma. If it's misspelled, send it out misspelled. The last thing you need is a fucking case study. This is why you're fucking poor. This is why the cocksuckers on YouTube are fucking poor. I remember every line that Dan Pena said because I send this to so many fucking students. He's talking about the Latino fuck behavior, and Dan Pena is Latino. Dan Pena once said, Latinos are their own worst enemy because of their cultural programming. One generation to another. He's right. That's why Jeff Bezos, right, when he was raised in a white family, he's adopted. He didn't have this fucking Latino fuck behavior, poor parents with bad money spending habits who are fucking poor as shit. In the first 7 years of life, that's what Dan Pena taught me when I was at the conference in California. He says we absorb everything like a sponge. That's true. This is why elite focus did not work as well, because these guys absorb all their parents' programming. That's why they're poor. It's always your mother or father. One of them is super fucking poor that spends like crazy. You cannot change it. It's almost like these guys are programmed. Okay. Next one. An autistic meltdown. After the failure or lower SMV, tears and everything, they're going to start to cry for the Latino fuck behavior. They'll start to cry, like there's be tears flowing down their face. Marco's been through it. Other students all been through it because they put themselves in this fucking category to have tears flowing down. They fucking did it to themselves because they can't do it my way. They have no resilience. And even if they have resilience, they can't stop steering the car into the fucking ditch. So they have tears because they don't have the instincts from grit. They have the resilience, but they don't have a growth mindset. Eventually, when they fail so many times, the very day for the other 21-year-old Latino student, when he did the aeroscience, he got some supplements for ADHD. He got a job finally, so he's more grounded for his inner game. And he also got supplements for neuroplasticity. That means his brain can be more plastic. I gave him something for neurogenesis, a drug that also can help Alzheimer's. That means your neural pathways are all fucked. It's all shaped in a fucked kind of way. He was able to reshape it when he went to the inner circle, and then he got laid. He bought the inner circle coaching. He went through all this stuff. He put the aeroscience into action. Boom, next day, fucking laid. Marco got laid at the same time. Marco got laid 2 days afterwards and got his Latina girlfriend after the 21-year-old Gen Z student in New York who got a same day lay. I'll post his testimonial soon. For the rest of the year, there may not be as many videos because all I'm going to post is lay testimonials that you guys can fucking ignore. On the side, to get some content out there, I'm going to make some YouTube lives because it does not disturb the video section. The inner circle is only allowed for people that got laid. I will not let people join that I do not trust. I'm sorry, but you're not trustworthy. Neither is JP. You guys cannot join the inner circle. And JP, you cannot join elite access going so slow. Next one. They get depressed, they quit for a while, but the Latinos never quit. They go through all this Latino fuck behavior, they never quit. They'll just resurrect, right? Like a fucking phoenix, right? They'll cry like crazy, they'll get depressed, and they'll like, I'll try again. And go back into one track mind. They go back into the same fucking wrong path, the sociopath. And then another fucking meltdown, and they'll just repeat the fucking process. That's Latinos for you. I wish I could make this shit up, but I can't. And the reason why they're like that is very simple. Because they're sociopaths. If you look at the traits of sociopaths are incapable of feeling guilt, shame, and remorse. Their brains lack the circuitry for process such emotions, just like Bencho Indians. Glasses hurts you in day game a lot. Never wear glasses. My Kaizen student for the Chinese guy was wearing fucking glasses. But guess what? The Chinese guy also got like a hand job now. At least he got some results from Kaizen further than the other Latino fuck student. Not to embarrass the other half Latino, but this guy went further. But glasses, when he took it off, went further. When he stopped wearing his fucking Wuhan wash fashion. Glasses do hurt you because it shows her that you don't have survival value. Most Asian people wear glasses, believe it or not. Most Asians have glasses. Shitty eyesights. We're almost like a race that's almost 90% myopic. Or astigmatism. That means whenever I see things, I can barely see what she looks like. I can only see the 3D shape. Right now, I have no idea what I look like. Everything is just a bunch of 3D shapes that are blurry. However, wear contact lenses. I have a box of contact lenses my Pakistani mentor helped me get. Because he has friends and stuff. So, these are disposable contact lenses for Daygame. That's what you do. You have to get your eye prescription first. Once you pay for that, then you get the contact lenses. So that's what they do. So, I mean, it wasn't funny when for the 2 weeks he was Wuhan wash. He could have got laid on Kaizen, but his fucking instincts, his Latino fuck behavior, he's not Latino, fucked it up. All right. So they don't feel guilt. Sociopaths invent outrageous lies about their experience. Sociopaths seek to dominate, win at all cost, right? They hate to lose any argument. They'll fight with their vicious, defend their web of lies, even to the point of logical absurdity for their Latino fuck behavior, stubbornness. They'll never apologize. They're never wrong. They never feel guilt. They can never apologize even when shown proof they're wrong. Just like I'm arguing with another Latino student when I call him out for being a Latino fuck behavior, and he just does this fucking Latino fuck behavior. And I said the conversation's over. You see that? Because Latinos are sociopaths. So they're never wrong. They make excuses. Because if they don't shift blame and make excuses, then guess what happens? Then they have to be responsible. And when they're responsible, they have to change. They'll never allow that. So they just SMV it like a samurai. They just throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. Because they're sociopaths, just like Indians. Most Indians have sociopath genes. Not the ones that are born in the West. They have it, but they don't express it because their parents love them. All right, let's continue. All right. So what I want you to do, okay, why would you want to walk around looking broke, right? Like a college student with a fucking hoodie. You literally lost all of your whitewash advantages. So it's time to ditch those hoodies and upgrade your wardrobe to something that actually boosts your sexual market value, my friend. Enter the blazer. That's right. Here's a blazer I'm wearing. Okay. This one has a cool design on the inside, right? See that? So there's a bunch of women and stuff on this design. This one's very hard to get. This is one of my favorite blazers. I'll show you. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully you can see some of the designs. Isn't that cool? This is customized for me. This is a Johnny Elite blazer. But wearing a blazer, you know, can help you against the weather, and even wearing Under Armour underneath your dress shirt. But what do you do about the umbrella? That's a better question. So we're going to get to that. So this will keep you dry and still make you look whitewashed. The same pants, everything. Looks is out of 10, money out of 5. Status is out of 10, being whitewashed. You can't be Wuhan washed because you won't even get that 1 point. And the reason why Asian passport bros have more value is because they can status max. They can have a third world money status advantage. They can have exotic advantage and stuff like that, lifestyle, compared to the other people. But when they're in the West, right, they're still 1 out of 10. But when they're Wuhan washed, they're 0 out of 10. Of course, social skills, social calibrations, emotional control matters, right? Because if you have like shitty emotions like the other Latino guy in Kaizen, you're talking super fast, right? For the cortisol, you can leach all the points from your looks in every other category. So why would you want to look like an RSD victim? Lowering your looks or lower the perception of money from your husband material fashion, like having nice watches, right? Like, for example, my students all wear the same watch. Not this one. This one's pretty cool, but if you have watches and stuff, they all wear the same ones. And it has like money. Money is only out of 5. Money is not everything. But these days, women make more money. They go to college, they go to university, and they're entitled. They're like, I will never date a guy who did not have a university degree. I will not date a guy who makes less money than me. You know, that's how they think. On top of everything. Of course, you say money doesn't matter as they declare with their self-proclaimed coaches. They'll say money doesn't matter. My students do that. That's fucking 12 out of 35 for fucking Tinder shit. Of course, it doesn't matter because you're white. You already have 10 points by being white. White is right. But however, a little bit of money can still give you a few points. Just like being more calm and slowing down your fucking speech can give you a few points. Every bit counts. Whitewash fashion can make your 0 out of 10 to be 1 out of 10. For Indians, right? Dressing whitewash can bring you from 2 out of 10 bench holding up to 4. Look blackwashy. If you look blackwash, you need muscles and you need to have low body fat to be a positive stereotype confident Negro. If you don't look like that, you're not going to get their SMV. You may be skinny fat Indian looking black Sri Lankan, but if you don't have muscles, you know, I'm not saying you should take steroids, but if you don't have muscles and low body fat percentage and just skinny fat, you have no positive stereotype that's not pre-selected. So that does matter if you're Indian or Sri Lankan and you look black. Or Latinos like my old roommate who looks like a Latino. He used to live in Mexico with his girlfriend. And nobody knew he was Latino. So Indians can look like different ethnicities. If you dress like my students, you become whitewash, you get 4 out of 10. That's way higher than fucking Wuhan wash Asians. Fucking Wuhan wash 0 out of 10 perceived natural status. What's wrong with my fashion? What's wrong with my fashion, as they say? I don't get it. I don't get it. Of course you don't get it because the higher your fucking ADHD is here. Here's a chart. So the higher ADHD, the more clueless, the lower SMV, right? You don't want to be in this category, right? You want to lower your fucking ADHD. So then you can start to have more SMV and then you'll be less clueless. Think about it this way. If you have severe ADHD, you'll be incompetent. Your self-esteem will be down. Your ego will go up. Okay? And what happens when that happens? Your self-esteem. The 4 traits of low self-esteem. Number 1, delusions. Number 2, half-ass, low resilience, like the half-Latino student. Number 3, the wrong path to sociopath. Number 4, you'll quit and burn out just like him. Low self-esteem traits. Because your ADHD and your cluelessness and your low SMV. I'm not saying he has low SMV. He has medium SMV. But the point is, the more ADHD you are, the more incompetent you are, the more you half-ass things, the more it fucks up your brain. So now that we have the blazer, let's talk about the umbrella. Because according to this fucking script I wrote, I keep missing the umbrella. I keep talking about the blazer. Do you see all this time when I'm wearing the blazer, right? Does it look like I have an umbrella under here? No, you can't see it, right? You cannot see this umbrella. this is the thing. Let's just talk about it, right? Now that we're near that 1.5 hours, this is called micro umbrella. You see that? This is like smaller than the real umbrella. Micro umbrella. I got this one somewhere in Vancouver, you know, from a convenience store, but you can find Amazon micro umbrellas. Micro umbrellas will fit perfectly within your blazer, so you can still maintain all the points that you have. See that? Once you dry off this thing, right? You don't want fucking acid rain everywhere. If it fits in here, now you can go back inside the fucking mall, right? When you're day gaming, on your way there, you have the micro umbrella. You walk inside the mall, this thing's inside your pocket. Then now you can wear your fucking blazer, and your Under Armour will keep you like warm. Now you have no excuses. But John, I want to change my fashion, as the students say, because it's colder. I need a new pair of fashion. You wear the same fucking uniform of my ninjas. Whitewash algorithms. You don't fucking fuck with the formula. You just do this, right? Go on an Insta date. This thing's in your fucking pocket. Don't you get it? This micro umbrella. Look how small it is. Barely the size of my hand. It's even smaller. I got long fucking fingers. You know? I have super long fingers. My hand is like very pretty. I don't know why it's like that. But I think the hands are what you look like. If you look at a girl's hand, you can tell what kind of body shape she has. So if she's very stumpy and she's very short, her hands will be like the same way. If she's very attractive, her hands will be very attractive. So you can tell a lot about the hands, right? You can tell how old a person is. Elasticity, right, would tell you, like, for me, I'm much older. I'm not Gen Z as much as you guys think. But the elasticity, whatever, could tell you the age, right? If it snaps or holds like that for a long time, doesn't snap back, then you don't have collagen in your skin anymore. You'll age really badly. You can see the age by the people's thing here. You can see I'm not that young. You can see there's wrinkles here. The hand's soft. But this is things that you can tell about a lot of people. Look at their hands. People with long fingers are artistic. I used to go to art school. You have longer fingers here for drawing and stuff. So there'll be more artistic inclined people. However, saying that, let's continue. So now that you realize that you can put this in your pocket, right? Now you can leave the mall. You can go in the mall. You never ever need to worry about wearing a blazer because strategically you don't want to lose any points. See that? Micro umbrella. It's not big. It's very small, but you can bring her right next to you here. You can be closer. This way, now you can maneuver her for a same day lay. Does that make sense? In the fucking rain. Without this umbrella, it'd be very hard to do it. The micro umbrella. Get a fucking micro umbrella and stop making fucking excuses. If you got a micro umbrella, that's great. So, the blazer is protected by your umbrella. So they'll be drawn to it because, they say that blazers is like the same equivalent to how women do wearing lingerie. For them, the blazer is almost equivalent. It's not just some, oh, yeah, he's trying too hard and some self-proclaimed guy. Fuck, this is stupid mental bullshit. Because it's husband material. That's what makes it work. Does that make sense? It's husband material. It's whitewash. It has nothing to do with business casual or trying to try hard or some bullshit. It works. If this is already working, right? Then why is your student dressed so fucking Wuhan wash with 200 fucking polls? 200 phone number closes, 0 lays, 4 scheduled to the house, 4 polls, nothing happened. All right. It's not about like for the girls that are, you comment, right? So if we just type in street fashion, right? 2023 USA street fashion. Okay. They all have different things to talk about because they all look different. So for example, let's say she's wearing yellow here, right? Over here. Excuse me real quick. I have a question. I was looking for XYZ. Do you know where I can find it? It's over there, that way. Oh, by the way, I just noticed something about you. It has to be up. What? I just noticed you have a yellow shirt and baggy jeans. Are you a banana? Statement of empathy. No. Hey, I know I'm just trying to make a joke, but I saw you and you have a very different vibe. I wanted to talk to you. Oh, it's okay, right? Then you talk about her clothing. So you can is adapted to her on the spot. It's not just because of what do you say to her. It's more like here she's wearing a dress. Excuse me real quick. I have a question. I was looking for whatever XYZ. Do you know where I can find it? Oh, by the way, I just noticed something about you. What? I've noticed you're wearing a dress and you're also wearing red heels. Are you doing a cosplay right now? Like wearing a costume for a movie or a TV show or anime? She's like, no, of course not, right? Hey, I know that's like, awkward. We're talking out here when it's raining, but don't worry, I have an umbrella. Everything's fine, right? I just gonna talk for a few minutes and I'll leave. That's okay, right? Just disarm, get it? So you can adapt. You can talk about, her ethnicity. You can talk about her occupation, or you could talk about her hobbies. Get it? Now you have a way to generate opening, and because you're talking about two things, more likely you're gonna catch her at something. So there's a lot of yellow clothing these days. I don't know why. Excuse me, real quick. I have a question. Blah blah blah. Oh, by the way, I just noticed something about you. What? I just noticed you have, like a very you wear a lot of green and wear a lot of designer clothes. Are you a hipster in denial? If she wear glasses, right? I'm not a hipster. That's what they all say, right? Hey, I know that, I'm just trying to be funny here, but I just wanted to come and talk to you because people don't talk to each other very often, calling out the elephant in the room. And I thought I'd make conversation, see how it goes. Introduce yourself, right? Easy. Disarm. Let's continue. So now that you got this umbrella, you don't have to be a fucking RSD victim with these hoodies. Use the fucking blazer in the same fucking dress shirt, all the other stuff that my students wear. Because if you wear a stupid long coat, it makes you look like a pickup artist. If you look like a pickup artist, it's not good. Because they're just thinking, oh, fuck, another fucking pickup artist, right? Another bench holding pickup artist. Not another fucking pickup artist. I remember when we went to the malls with my Pakistani mentor, and he always makes fun of all the pickup artists when we day game. He's always saying, John, is that your friend over there? Like fucking day gamers. I was like, no. He just makes fun of them. Oh, you could tell another pickup artist over there, right? Because the inner circle are so invisible, you cannot tell that they're pickup artists. They're so perfect at it. They're like ninjas. They're ninjas. All of them are ninjas. Perfect social skills, perfect social calibrations, emotional control. What I'm teaching you is the same thing as what the inner circle does. They get laid very quickly. For them, my Pakistani mentor, 3 approaches. They're all 9 out of 10s usually. He never approaches lower. 2 of them will be rejections. 1 of them will be a number close. And that, for the text game, 95% will come out. He got 15 ladies in front of me, all 9 out of 10s. And the women that I tried to get on a date to the mansion, he fucking stole her from me. So that's how they're like. They don't like it. These guys. They don't like it. Never outshine the masters, as they say. They get jealous and they get crazy. But I digress. But you see, that's the thing. He also sometimes he'll buy like a perfume in Sephora, whatever that place is. That place where women buy their fucking makeup and shit. He'll have a bag there, and then the next day he goes back to day game, he'll refund it. He just uses it as a fucking prop. You get it? Use a prop when you go there. That's another thing you can do. If you use a prop, then you don't look like a pickup artist. So then it's easier to insta date. It's easier to go on coffee. You have an umbrella. You can also buy something and put your fucking umbrella, as you close it, right into a bag. So let's say you buy a bunch of oranges or something, right? Now you put inside a bag, right? With your umbrella. Now it looks like you're not there to pick up, but you're actually there to buy groceries. Now you're not a pickup artist. Now it's easier to pull her home for tactical considerations in the rain, right? You're not Mr. PUA with a fucking long coat or a furry, fucking stupid furry hoodie or RSD Todd hoodie. You're there to do your normal stuff and to incorporate that into your lifestyle. Makes perfect sense. But why don't everyone do this? See, a lot of coaches, they never ever approach during the rain. And their students, they only approach during the summertime because it'll rain on their equipment. You can't record it. My students get laid in the rain. They don't give a fuck. They get laid in the snow. There's no excuses because social calibrations overcomes all. Elite 30 from hard case to hero, it just keeps getting late testimonials. How could they have the best course of the decade or the century if Elite 30 keeps getting people laid? Isn't that the point of a day game course? To get people laid. If you get them laid, is the best course of all time. Elite 30 is not even like fucking social. It's not even fucking game tactics. So that's the thing. Even if you brought your micro umbrella, you can always make jokes about it. You're going on an Insta date, it's raining outside. You take your. It doesn't matter where they get their best success in America. As long as they have social calibrations and whitewash fashion, right? In my training, they'll get laid anywhere. Anywhere. So let's say you're going to Insta date outside the mall now. You already wanted Tim Hortons. You pull this thing out there, right? And she's wondering what the fuck, you're so well prepared. You can make a joke, right? Saying the umbrella may be smaller than other umbrellas, right? But it's not the same for me down there. You can sexualize it a little bit. It doesn't matter what you say. I just made that up. But if you're prepared like James Bond with all his gadgets, you can definitely use it as a statement of empathy. Remember, I'm talking a little bit faster because I got to go to the bathroom. I've been holding it in. Maybe I should go to the bathroom, right? And come back in a minute, but I may lose the audience. Are you guys willing to let me do that? That way I could talk better. Because before we get to the third part, I'll go to the bathroom very, very quickly. So you don't have to worry about the umbrella not fitting in your pocket. So that's all you have to do. Put in your shopping bag. Now you're not a pickup artist. You can refund whatever item you get later on. You buy like a perfume, just refund it the next day. You have a legit reason for carrying that bag. And it won't raise any suspicions among her. So ditch the RSD hoodies. Grab a fucking blazer like my students and get a small micro umbrella that fits inside your pocket. Problem solved. Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I really have to go. But the next part we're going to talk about is the psychology of women during the rain. So I'll be right back in less than 1 minute. I'll go as fast as I can. All right? So just bear with me. I'll be right back. Normally, yeah, so. All right, I'm back. Sorry for a delay. All right, let's continue. Glad you guys are still here. All right, let's talk about the next piece, the psychology of women. Okay. So, why is social comfort harder to achieve when it's cold outside and raining? So, what is social comfort? You see, it's a lot harder to achieve it when it's cold outside because the colder it is, the less she will feel comfortable. Comfort's very important because if she's not comfortable, just like you're talking super fast with syllables everywhere, she's gonna leave. But if it's raining outside, it becomes psychologically harder. Even when it's not raining in the fall and it's fucking cold as shit, psychologically, you're gonna get a lot more rejections. So, and don't forget, there's an inflation which also affects her social value for her survival value. The pandemic was like a tsunami. The inflation is like a fucking hurricane. So it's like two things affecting her mind. That is why for the aeroscience, the inner game is important to get your life in order. A lot of students that don't have their life in order, living paycheck to paycheck, cannot focus. They can't focus. So, why is this taking so long? All right. I know it's tough out there, but fear not, because there's a solution for you. The key is to stay indoors as much as possible. You heard that right. Don't brave the icy cold streets unless it's absolutely not necessary. So imagine like out there is like lava, right? Every time you go out there, if you're inside the malls or you're outside and you bring her inside to a coffee shop and then to the next place, right, with an umbrella, or maybe indoors and back home, you go to a pharmacy, you buy a box of condoms, then you bring her back home, right? Whatever you do, the more you're inside, the better it is for social comfort. But like I said, don't be creepy when you buy the box of condoms. You have to at least have some SMV. Otherwise, it becomes creepy. So if you're like super low SMV Indian or Asian, you have no value, and you do that, you're going to freak her the fuck out. But if you're decent looking, it's never creepy. You know? If you're decent looking, is never creepy. So her social comfort meter will be very low, and you will be off the line. So instead, you wait for the perfect opportunity to bounce her indoors as fast as possible. If she is indoors, you move to the next Insta-date location indoors for the mall. Now, some of you might be thinking, what about social calibrations? Shouldn't you be using my excellent social skill flow drill? But not everyone has this excellent triangular social skill flow drill. Most students can't even last more than 15 minutes of practicing this triangular flow drill. I had a Kaizen student who can only do 6 minutes, half-assing it, right in front of my WhatsApp group for the social skill flow drill group. Only 6 fucking minutes because of the corpus callosum issues. It's like the brain, 2 pieces of the brain in the middle. It doesn't connect very well. It's very weak. It can't do 3 steps. So when I talk about social calibrations, I don't mean talking super fast and losing control of your emotions due to cortisol. There's a recipe. That's a recipe for disaster, and they won't get you anywhere with the ladies, especially in the cold. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have cortisol issues, you're also making it harder for yourself. I've done your opener and ask girl for where something. They usually answer and walk away. No, you have to be like as soon as they're gonna walk away, right? So you gotta think of the timing, okay? Imagine it's like Dance Dance Revolution, those arcade games. Remember, I used to have the arrow and something like that. You have to step on the right time or they leave. So for you, it's about timing. You cannot. This is your problem. You like? Do you know where I can find a Starbucks? This is what you're gonna do. Okay, Chapman, you're gonna fuck it up. You won't even say excuse me real quick. I have a question. You know what you say? Excuse me, quick question. That's what you say. Or excuse me, you go right into it. Do you know where a coffee shop is? So you put a lot of pressure on her. She tells you where the coffee shop is. She walks away because you say, "Oh, thank you." Right? That's what you say. Oh, okay, thank you. You add your fucking zombie steps. You don't follow instructions. Right away, as soon as she says a coffee shop is right over there, you go down the street and you cannot miss it. Oh, by the way, I just noticed something. You have to switch right away. Does that make sense? You have less than a fraction of a second to switch the topic. You cannot say thank you. As soon as she's done talking, you switch the topic. You cannot be, oh, by the way, like a depressed snowflake cunt. I just noticed something about you. She'll walk away like, what? Bye. You have to be like, you have to be so surprised. Like, imagine you have a friend, like your invisible ghost friend, right? Your fucking imaginary friend. Imagine he just walks by her and comes on her face, right? Right? Only you can see it. So you'd be like, oh, by the way, I just noticed something about you. What? I just noticed you got cum on your face. It has to be like that. It has to be a surprise. It can't just be like, oh, by the way, I just noticed you got cum on your face. It has to be like, oh, by the way, I just noticed something about you. It has to be right. Does that make sense? That's why it doesn't work. Then I just noticed you are X plus Y. Are you Z? Then you got the hook in. And when she wants to leave, just say, hey, I know that people don't socialize. If you're in a bookstore, hey, I know that we should not talk super loud. If you're in the grocery store, I know we're blocking people's way with our carts, but don't worry, blah, blah, blah. Then you deal with the elephant in the room. Does this make sense? That answers your question. You're fucking up because you're not using the exact words and you're not transitioning with the, oh, by the way, up there, the notes. What if you don't know what is Z? Like, are you Z? So you have like a yellow, jacket and whatever clothing. Are you into fashion? Or are you a hipster? It doesn't matter if she says yes or no. You can always disagree with her afterwards as early as possible. As you continue the conversation, she might say like she's Colombian, and you're like, you don't know Colombian. So that way you can put yourself back on the line. If she says no, you continue the conversation. No big deal. My friend told me 30. Yeah, I should do live more often because the video is going to be all occupied with testimonials. I figure, how can I get my information out there to the public? And the only way I know how is the YouTube lives. I could do YouTube lives as long as I put the testimonials up there so other people can see it. So yes, I will make more YouTube lives because that is the only way I can get the word out. And I can take these YouTube lives and I can create more of these YouTube shorts from it. So more YouTube lives, guys, right? Let's continue. Just follow the instructions. Be more creative, right? It takes practice. That's why you practice not just out there in the field, you also practice in like at home. It's just like a boxing gym. You can get that thing on Google, 2023 street fashion, and then you can start practicing one by one. Remember, hobbies, her occupation, or her ethnicity, right? That's your observation. Two things. You mean like live is the best way, right? Okay, I guess so. I mean, the thing about lives is that I can correct a lot of your mental filters, right? Your misconceptions, your objections. I'm also thinking, why is everyone not training with me? I always was curious. I would think that with nonstop late testimonials, everyone's going to train with me. Is it because the inflation? Is it because the high cost of living? What's the objection here? What's going on, guys? Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much. So if you guys like the post, it'll be pushed to the algorithms more. Okay. The venue changes, right? Like the first one, you don't want to waste more than like 15 minutes or something. You know what? The problem is if you stay too much in one venue, you will stay there for like fucking 50 minutes or 3 hours. You got to start moving her around. It's a maneuver warfare. You're only facing each other or being close to her just to build that connection and get to know her better. But you got to maneuver. It's maneuver warfare. It's not a fucking number closed number farming game. Following the 2 dates model for I don't follow 2 date models. You try to do a same day lay. You don't want to waste like time going on dates. You want to close. It's like a high ticket sales. Why would you fuck up somewhere and then retarget them by emailing them to get back on the phone? Same thing with sales. You want to close right there and then. I haven't seen new infields, but I was not sure. Well, think about it this way, right? Because of course it still works. The people that are posting infields, they don't have any day game late testimonials. So that debunks infields. You get it? Because they say, oh, I got all these new infields, but they don't have zero day game late testimonials in 2023. I have nothing but 2023 late testimonials. You don't need fucking infields. That's all I'm saying. Infields does not equal late testimonials. So that debunks infields. Because in 2023, their infields did not get them late testimonials. Look at Game Cheesy TV, for example. He has lots of infields, but he has like one student late a year. Other coaches have zero late testimonials. Does my coaching still work? It works really well. So who gives a fuck? You're right, John. So that's kind of stupid. Like, oh yeah. So that actually debunks infields. Now you realize infields don't mean shit. Theories don't mean shit. Boot camps don't mean shit. Boot camps are not getting people laid. Have options. Have you seen how many students have gotten laid recently? Have you? Because so far, I've been getting nonstop late testimonials. One student just got married this month. 2 more students got laid this month. Last month, 2 more students got laid. This month, another student finger fucking got hand job too. Months before that, Indian student got laid. A Chinese student got laid in one approach. It's just nonstop. Well, first of all, you never want to compliment, because if you compliment, her value goes up and your value goes down. It's called validation. You never compliment, despite what self-proclaimed high lay count guys say. It never works for a low SMV ethnic. Flirting is more of a sexual thing, like a man to woman thing. You're flirting about her body, you're flirting about something sexual, or more like man to women. Compliments is not man to women. Even some gay guy can give her a compliment. Oh, I love that purse that you're wearing. I love your eyes. It's so bright. It sounds gay as fuck, right? So that's like, no offense to gay people, but I'm just saying that sounds gay as fuck. But when you're flirting, you're lower and slower. Oh, you look like you, or whatever. So yeah, but that's if I want to. Right now, I don't feel like I still approach, but I don't film the infields. I don't give a shit. This is the least of my concerns. My concern is getting past 600 late poll testimonials. Other coaches with their stupid infields, at most, they got like fucking 25 late testimonials, 26. Or UMP, right? Around like 40, 56. Even though my student was the instructor for them. I have fucking 600, nearly 600. Minus that. Most coaches have 3 or 0. Who gives a fuck about infields? What the fuck do they matter? It's like, do you have to live like vicariously through the coach, through the infields? That's not getting you laid. Infields are only for sheeps. Sheeps need to worship infield. They need to suck off the infields because they need to feel motivated. My students don't give a fuck. They want results right now. John, I don't give a fuck about you. Teach me how to get my dick wet. That's why my students, the ninjas. I don't want no fucking sheeps that worships. Worshipping does not work in 2023. East Asian here. Okay. No, but it doesn't matter if you're like happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe. If your body language is perfectly like Elite 30 or Kaizen, it's always man to women. So the more like you're happier, the better it is. Happy and confident. Because you're getting that 2.5 points for social calibrations. Does that make sense, guys? So as we're continuing back to this topic about social comfort, right? If you cannot be happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe, and very chilled, and you signal to her that you have a lot of cortisol, you're saying that your genes are not worth procreating with. Does that make sense? If you're too nervous, or you're talking too fast, and you're not happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe, cortisol equals autism. You're actually showing her that your genes are autistic, but however, You got to use the tribe leader's body language of my students. This debunks self-proclaimed coaches that says, oh yeah, you got to think you're enough, right? You got to think that you're good enough, therefore your sub-communications will cover it. But here's the problem with that. Asians, for example, they may feel all confident on the inside, but it doesn't mean their face fucking moves. It doesn't mean their tonality changes. They'll still sound beta as fuck. Does that make sense? So an Asian person with no expression cannot think they are enough and have this law of expectations. If they can't show it on the outside, they'll be like Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang is like, hey guys, UBI, Universal Basic Income. You don't know if he's smiling or what he's trying. Nobody knew what the fuck Andrew Yang was communicating in the presidential debates because he has no fucking facial expressions, no congruency. So that needs to be trained from Elite 30. Otherwise, it'll be platonic. It wouldn't work. You have 200 phone numbers like him and 4 scheduled to the house and 0 lays. Hope that answers your question. Yeah, because 55% of your communication is nonverbal. Buy Elite 30 from Hard Case to Hero and fix it, because that's how another student got laid in just 3 approaches that day. You know that? One student got laid in 3 approaches. Let me just type in my site. I'll show you. So this guy who used to be a samurai, mass approaching, how did he get laid in 3 approaches? Because he practiced in front of a mirror. Right here. This guy, white guy. It used to be 100 approaches to a lay. He did the hybrid opener and he did the body language. He practiced in front of a mirror, like I told him. Most students don't do it because they don't have resilience. He practiced in the mirror and he was able to apply out there. 3 approaches that day, he bangs a 19-year-old who's 8 out of 10. How the fuck? That fast. Even his second day of Elite 30, day 1, happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe. Day number 2, meditative breathing, slowing down the breath. 2 days already finger a chick. And look at this. "55% of your sub-communication, 37% tonality." Okay. So here's the new rule. Look at this. If you look at your communications over here, let me see if I can find a better picture. See that? 55% of your communication is body language. 38% is your voice and tone. And 7% of your game is your spoken words. So your script does not fucking matter. Elite 30 solves the 55% more than half. Is it possible to train with me before you move from India? No, because my rule, once I make it, is permanent. Okay, I went on an instant date using your method and grab a jam juice, right? And talked for 45 minutes. We agreed on a second date. But when I got home, she didn't reply. She flaked on you because you don't have the body language, first of all. Second of all, you probably are too narcissistic. You only talk about yourself. It's always like whenever you fuck up, let's say you went on the venue change, but she flaked on you. It's always one step back. It's always, give it a thumbs up if you're learning something. It's always one fucking step back when you fucked up. So let's say, for example, you went on 2 venue changes and she says she has to go home. Anytime she says she has to go home, she doesn't have to go home. It means she's bored and you fucked up because you didn't flirt. You didn't find out more about her. It's that simple. Your body language was not on point. She was not comfortable. So she flakes. So you fucked up mid-game. It's like chess. You might get the opening moves out of the way, setting things up, but then you got to start trading moves. Does that make sense? You didn't trade the moves properly, which is finding out more about her. So you fucked up in that step in mid-game. That's why you never got to end game. Does that make sense? End game is check to checkmate, which is maneuver, sexualized objections, looping. Like chess. It's exactly like chess. You fucked up in the chess game in the middle, but you made it that far. Unless you get your social calibrations, your chess pieces will never be really strategically perfect. You better practice in the mirror like your life depended on it. Because it's like boxing. If you don't practice on the fucking speed bag, right? Right? Or the punching bag, right? Boom, 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 right? You don't practice the mitt work, right? Boom, 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 right? Boom, 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 right? You don't practice all that shit. Then you could take the skills to the ring. You don't just go out there and mass approach like a samurai. You practice at home, but you bring it out there. The problem with the Kaizen student that failed, the Latino guy, was because he can practice in there. He did a good job. But when it goes out there in the cortisol, he's afraid to step into the fucking ring more than once or twice. The magical number 2. Because he was afraid to fucking go out there and make the approaches and get in the fucking ring. He was talking too fast. So what does fast cortisol sound like in the boxing ring? Imagine he steps inside the ring. And the first thing he does is ding, ding, right? Like this. He's doing all this stuff, right? And she's just like wondering, what the fuck is he doing? And then at the end, he punches himself in the mouth because he talks super fast. It doesn't matter if he got a number close. He already failed. He lost that fucking round. He knocked himself out. Knockout. It wasn't her that knocked him out. She could, but he knocked himself out. He goes to the next round. Boom. Fuck, right? No, nosebleed. Next person, right? Talking super fast, even faster. Cortisol. Steps in the ring, barely steps in the ring. Boom. Knocked out again. That's a problem. So your practice, well, it's very important. It's very important. But you have to be able to bring your fucking practice out there. Because if your practice is perfect, but it's not brought out there because your cortisol, your stress hormone, because once the cortisol hits, everything, the shit hits the fan. Like Mike Tyson says, every plan does not survive it. Like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. This is true. When you're out there, you have to be able to take your practice and to apply it. And the problem is all these other pickup artist coaches, nobody fucking practices in the mirror. They just fucking go out there like a tall white guy, like the other student with some SMV advantages, with some fucking height. They go out there and then they lose 99 boxing matches. And one of them, they win against an opponent that is below their looks level. Does that make sense? That is below their SMV scale. They're facing an opponent that's easier. But now, when he practices in the ring for that white guy, the samurai, and then he brings it out there to the ring, he fucking gets laid in 3 approaches with a 19-year-old. He's 33, by the way. And she's 8 out of 10. Don't you guys get it? The 55%. That fucking subcommunication is big. No other coaches, they're always focusing on the 7 fucking percent. For tactics, they gotta focus on the stupid lines and the stupid mystery method script. You see that? They always gotta focus on that fucking 7%, that purple area. Always at 7%. That's why they're fucked. Let's see. Everyone gotta hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. It's good for the algorithms. Right? What's a good practice? Get Elite 30 and start practicing it, right? Don't be cheap, because you guys cannot afford to train with like any other style or do game shit. Game has failed every single forum group. Nobody has a late testimonial. I've been posting it nonstop. I'm the only one in 2023 posting consistent day game late testimonials. My stuff works because this method is surviving the fucking inflation. Their stuff is no longer surviving because it's affecting their psychology, which we gotta get back on topic as we're talking about the psychology. So you rather be chilled and take your time like a high-valued man in that boxing match. Don't you understand? You got to take your time and pick your shots like Mayweather Jr. Your social calibrations. Remember how Mayweather Jr., he drops his hand here? He does his Philly shell defense like this, right? And one hand here, right? It's like this, right? Boom, 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 right? Ducks underneath it, right? He picks a shot, boom, boom, back here, right? He's in the ring, nobody can hit him. If they hit him here, he blocks. If they hit him down here, he blocks here. If it's here, he blocks here. And he uses shoulder roll, so the punches go by his fucking face. Does that make sense? So, can we join John Elite Access? No, you have to. I have to interview you first and make sure you're not a zombie. Then maybe I can consider it. You can only join John Elite Access if you have my bundle and you're not a fucking zombie. I don't want to be carrying a bunch of fucking losers. I'm looking for Mayweathers. I'm looking for ninjas. I don't want no fucking samurais. I don't want no fucking like peasants. I need trained killers, metaphorically speaking. So, how long is the interview? At least 15 minutes, right? You watch my webinar or something, and you got a 15-minute interview. The webinar is at www.johnelite. I mean, jesocial.com. My millionaire student has changed the address. If you put HTTP, it does not work. If you type in www.johnelite.com, right? Let's see if this works. www without HTTPS. jesocial.com. It'll go to the Wix webinar, the one that people actually sign up to. Let's see if it works. Pin messages. Okay. I'll see if I can click it. Okay, it doesn't go anywhere because it doesn't have HTTPS. But if you just type in www.jesocial, you can sign up to have the interview. That's my webinar. It's awesome. It shows a lot of students who get laid in 1 to 6 approaches. I should rebuild the webinar showing the testimonials. How many approaches does it take? It's all going to be like 1, 6, 2, 1, 5, 5, 4, 2. It's all like 1 to 6 that day. This is why my students are winning, because they can fight in front of the mirror. They can fight in the boxing ring. They can do both. You don't just fucking try SMV it with tactics, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's all strategy and stuff. That's what they say, the tall self-proclaimed coaches. It's all about strategy as they declare strategy this, strategy that. You can't just walk in the ring, try to remember strategies. You can get knocked the fuck out. That's what happened during inflation. Their Chinese student, 200 number closes, knocked the fuck out 200 times. And you know what? 200 fucking number closes, 4 scheduled to the house, 0 lays. My student, who's Chinese, does Elite 30, gets laid in 1 approaches, his very first approach. He adapted faster. That happened last month. Yes, my stuff still works. My stuff is the only stuff that works in the whole day game industry so far. Let's continue. So you can't be like a cortisol zombie. You might, if you have all this cortisol in the ring, you might as well just go direct. Direct is very simple. You're a boxer, okay? And you walk into a ring and you have no fucking value, or you have a little bit of value. If you have no value, it won't work. You swing a big fucking haymaker like this, right? As big as you can, the first one. Now the opponent's staggered. Like, what the fuck? That's what direct is. She's not into you. You get positive reactions. The IOIs, as Mystery says. Autistic IOIs. You don't get IOCs, indicators of compliance. You swing really big. Big compliment. She's staggered, and now you feel like you're winning. But as soon as you get the phone number closed, she flakes on you. Because when she's not staggered, she knocks you the fuck out and just delays it. She's not sold on you because you didn't convert her, because you didn't convert to 55%. The nonverbal communications, your tonality did not convert. It didn't work. You want to go for a same day lay. You never want to get number closes and set up a date in 10% stats. There is no 10% stats. My students, she always comes out on a date if you're calibrated. It's kind of strange. The Kaizen student, she didn't come out on a date as easily because he's not calibrated. He's talking so fast. That's not social calibrations for the emotional side. The tonality. It's like a boxer. Boom. Knock himself out. You can't do that. That's not what I'm teaching. You may have good body language. You might have the Mayweather defense, right? Boom, boom. Shoulder roll, right? But if you can't do anything besides move super fast, you've never done a single approach properly yet without skills. Boxing is like Mayweather Jr. You need to have skills. Elite 30 is the defense. It makes you rejection proof because you have that Philly shell defense, right? You can't get hit. And then you can counter punch. If you cannot get hit because of the social calibrations you practice in the mirror, she cannot leave. Same day lay becomes easier. In the rain, now use the fucking umbrella, micro umbrella. You solve a lot of problems this way. Right? Yeah, sometimes if you want to bring something sexual, right, you can pretend like, oh shit, here's my wallet, right? I want to check if I'm missing my wallet. This is what you can do. You put the wallet in your hand. Hold this for me. Okay, I found the keys here, and then you put like a condom right on her hand, right? And then she's like, "What the fuck?" And, oh, okay. Here's the key, or here's the whatever thing, right? And then you grab everything back. You get it? So that's how you can sexualize it if you cannot verbally do it. But doesn't mean you can deal with the objections. That takes training. But at the very least, that was sexualize it. Does that make sense? That was sexualize it. The condom trick works very well. So that'll get her to the point of no return. Wait, why am I telling you guys this? I should keep all this stuff a secret. All right. So if you really are moving super fast, then you might as well just go direct because you have no fucking skills. Like a samurai, you might as well just swing the fucking haymaker, fail like 400 knockouts, right? You get knocked out 400 times, and then eventually you're going to beat an opponent, right? Who's a yes girl who will let you win. It won't work for the short ethnicities, the short ethnics. During the inflation, they can haymaker all they want. They're not going to knock anything out. And I posted nonstop late testimonials. And the few students who don't follow my instructions, who likes to go super fast like a boxing match or like a chess game, they like to go super fast, and they always knock themselves out. They blunder, as they call it. But I'm the only one posting day game late testimonials in 2023, outlasting everybody. So this is the perfect day game system, but you have to be the perfect student. That means you have to be the perfect boxer. You can't just go out there and just knock yourself out. Get some fucking resilience to practice. Get some resilience to get in the fucking ring more than 1 or 2 audios recording for me. So I took responsibility. I can't just shift the blame on the students. I banned all Latinos from Kaizen. I took responsibility. Because if 3 Latinos has this Latino fuck behavior, then Latinos are too slow to be learning Kaizen with their cortisol and their opinions as facts. Yeah, that's for another thing. For a sexual tension, I already taught you a little bit how to do it, but you should be flirting instead. But like I said, if you train under me, you'll learn all these things. I'll have to interview you to see if you're coachable, right? I don't want some poor fucking people that are living on food stamps. You have to have the elite bundle already. So no, the Indian students just have to wear a blazer in their whitewash fashion. In fact, the darker they are, the better they do in the West. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but in India, the lighter you are, the better you do because of the caste system, because it's a class warfare. But if you're darker in the United States, you do much better. Darker, the better. My Pakistani mentor is quite dark. So I know that sounds very counterintuitive, but it works way better. So, how much do you have Elite 30? Like, which course do you have of mine? Elite Playbook is $500. I suggest everyone here buy Elite Bundle 2. It has both courses and Elite access for a whole year. And here's the new offer. If you guys can get laid in 3 months of buying Elite Bundle 2, I will let you join the inner circle for 6 months for free. As an incentive. 6 months for free. But if you guys fuck up, too fucking bad. Because you're a zombie. 6 months free, right? So it forces you to go out there in the fucking rain. Get a fucking micro umbrella. And fix this fucking issue. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck and it's expensive, Elite Bundle 2 is $900. I got rid of the inner or the Aero Science bundle for $1,000. I got rid of it and I put the contents into the Elite Bundle 2. This is the premier bundle for people that are not part of Kaizen or 3MP. How we join inner? You can't. I hand selected everybody. I have to like who you are, and you have to get your lay in. But if I did let you join, you must have like a good vibe. Most people are not allowed to join. A Chinese student came up to me trying to throw money at me and saying, "Oh, I'm going to join you." He never wanted to go on the fucking webinar and be on the interview. He just wants to waste my time. So I told him to go fuck himself and let other students join instead. The people that are in the inner circle have been there for years. There are students who already got laid. They're the superstar guys. They're the testimonial guys. Most of you cannot join the inner circle. It is forbidden. These are my disciples. Like Moses or Jesus and his disciples. You're not my disciples. You're just my students. You don't have any sort of power to join the inner circle because I don't trust you. All the Judases there will be kicked out. Skin whitening is just your mental bullshit. That's just Indian bullshit from India. The last student was not exactly light either. The guy who got laid in the last testimonial that's Indian, he's quite dark. Let's continue. So for Latino students, I kicked them all of Kaizen because they're filled with cortisol. This program still has 100% success rate for Kaizen for the ones who completed it. It's like the Navy SEALs Hell Week. If you don't complete it, it's not my fault because you're too fucking weak. You're not a good boxer. They could take any other program for Latinos. They could take Elite Access. They could take Elite Bundle 2. They could take Elite 30. They could take Elite Playbook. But the Latinos can never take Kaizen again. They could take 3 months of proficiency, but they cannot take Kaizen. So here's the game plan. Get her inside the mall for Insta date. Then it has to be a pull afterwards. Get her outside, pharmacy, buy a box of condoms, pull her back home. But you want to spend as much time indoors when it's raining. And trust me, it usually takes about 6 minutes with good body language. That 55%. And the right mindsets, too. So you might even consider utilizing Elite 30 or Kaizen techniques in the beginning to set the mood, just like chess game. In conclusion, my fellow enlightened day gamers, when it is cold outside, do not rely on gamey tactics or going direct, like a zombie talking super fast. Instead, focus on being more human with your social skills and social calibrations, because that's already 5 points right there for the 20 out of 35. Stay indoors as much as possible. And when the time is right, make your move. Remember, getting her inside for an Insta date is crucial. Fuck going outside. If you're outside and it's raining, you bring her inside. You understand that? You bring her into a coffee shop. You don't fucking stay outside and try to talk to her and try to pull her. It'll never fucking work in the fucking rain. Oh, fuck. If you try to use a K-pop fashion, you better be good looking. Right? If you're going to look K-pop and stuff, you better look like a K-pop artist. Right? Because if you don't look like a K-pop artist, it will never work. Right? Not everyone has a K-pop artist look. So if you don't look like a K-pop artist, don't fucking use K-pop. Be whitewashed. Because white is right. White's the top ethnicity. Works for every single race in the world. Right? K-pop's not for everyone. Not everyone can look like a K-pop artist. Right? I think I can do it a little bit, but not you guys. So. It doesn't matter how long you talk to her. It's how much you get the Elite 30 body language perfectly down. That's what creates a conversion. She becomes like a puppet on the string. So you got it wrong. Your chess game is wrong. Everything in boxing is wrong. I do have golden ratio. But don't forget the aero science. The V-shaped body is important too, in a whitewash fashion. And the social skill flow drill. And also that's the aero body. And don't forget the maneuver sexualizing objections looping. So get on your blazer and get an umbrella and embrace the power of social comfort and go get them. And that's where you have it, my resilient friends. Stay warm, stay enlightened. Remember, I'll only accept students who show resilience from now on. If you cannot last more than 2 days of practicing like a whitewash tonality or in the mirror, or even go out more than twice, you don't have resilience. you need to fuck off and not get anywhere near my training. Yes, minorities do much better if you're like in Northern Europe, Eastern Europe, wherever. They do better because they have an exotic advantage. They also have like a thorough money status advantage, right? And a lifestyle advantage. People are very poor in Europe. So that's why they have these Asian passport bros. You need a little bit of volume sometimes, but once you get it down, then yeah. Look, I can do K-pop maxing because I used to look like a K-pop artist, but most people cannot do it. I would say less than 1%. So less than 1% can do it. It's not about the K-pop maxing, right? It's about like let's see. I used to look like a K-pop guy, but I'm just saying, depends on the country you're in. Not everyone likes K-pop. Let me see if I can find my old K-pop pictures. Because that'll be interesting if you see old pictures of me. See profile picture. Oh yeah, here's one. K-pop pair. Some runway model. It's like 6'3" or some shit. K-pop. But I don't think that's the best look. K-pop. Don't do it. Don't do it. K-pop. Don't do it. That was in 2015. So see, I used to be skinnier. This is 2015. So low body fat's important too. It helps by far. Low body fat percentage helps in V-shaped body. So do that. Anyways, that's all I gotta say for today. Thank you for being here. Give it a thumbs up. Train with me. I know right afterwards, most people will just ignore me for a while to think about it. And then the next late testimonial, as it gets more fucking rainy, then they'll train with me. Stop wasting your fucking time. So contact me, train with me, stop fucking around. I'm the only one with late testimonials in 2023. So what happens in my video section, as you can see, there's a late testimonial, right? Everything's a late testimonial. 2023. Look at all my videos, right? Look at the stuff here on the front. Late testimonial, late testimonial, late testimonial, late test. They're all late testimonials in 2023. Here's another one, white student. I'm gonna post nonstop late testimonials from 2023 and write without a boot camp. I'm gonna post it for the rest of the year. How's that? Every single week we'll post a new one from 2023, or maybe every week and a half. How's that? So I go on the YouTube lives, right? So we can still have some content. I keep posting this ones from fucking like this month, right? The next one's gonna be from this month, October. Student got married. I'm gonna keep posting it. Like it's just gonna be like this, right? It's like the Israel slamming missiles into Hamas. It's just nonstop. I'm just gonna keep doing that until you guys get the fucking point. Yeah, but like I said, infields do not get people late testimonials. Infields, I'll say this again, their fucking courses don't work. They don't have any 2023 Day Game late testimonials. Their infields did not get that. So this is if you're just a fanboy and you're not here to get results, you're just here to just maybe watch videos and feel good about it. Maybe you should not be my student, right? Because people, when they come here, the last thing they give a shit is about how cool I am. The first thing they want is what's in it for me. If that's not you, and you're a sheep, and you must worship white dating coaches, and their stupid phone number closes, or they're going to a cab, if that's what you need, you should go suck their dicks off of their bodies. You just suck super hard. Just get on your knees, right? With a thumb up your ass and the other one in your mouth. And then switch them, right? Back and forth, right? Switch, right? That's what you're doing, right? One thumb up your ass, the other one in your mouth, and just looking at white dating coaches. The reason why you think like that is because you're like female nature. I made a video about female nature. For female nature, this is how women thinks. Number one, they always think with relative SMV with the men. So they always think, what's the relative SMV? That's all she thinks all day. Number two, she thinks emotional reasoning. That's what you guys think like a woman. And number three is logic is the last one. But you guys as pickup artists don't see the cause and effect. Cause, Johnny Lee teaches his students boxing, out the ring, right? In the gym, the ring, lay testimonials, cause, effect. You don't see cause and effect. You only see relative SMV. Oh, the coach is white, right? He has infield. So you're just like a woman worshiping them, wanting to suck the dicks off of them. Number two, emotional reasoning. Because you don't have a cause and effect thinking. You only can be emotionally manipulated. That's what you like. Because you think emotionally. You're the ultimate in female nature. Optioning. Number three, no logic, no cause and effect. You don't realize if the effect is Johnny Lee has nonstop late testimonials for 2023, what's the cause? That's the effect. What's the cause? What I'm teaching you now. You see that? That's why you worship. That's why people worship. That's why they have no critical thinking. Because they are like, they're just basically women in men's bodies. They're just SMVing it with mass approaching. They would like to worship because they're sheeps. They like to give their authority up and let the other coaches gaslight you. But where the fuck are their late testimonials for their day game courses? Doesn't even work. Where are their bootcamp late testimonials? It's like UFOs. Everybody says it's real, but we don't see any fucking proof. That's how I want to end this video, right? If you guys like it, great. Maybe I'll come back next week. Okay? Next topic, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But this is how we have to talk from now on because the video section is going to be occupied. Say no worries. No worries. Because if you have this no worries mentality, right, then you don't put the pressure on her. You go with whatever frame. So she wants to act in the social circle frame. This is practices. No worries like this. No worries. All of you practice right now. Instead of getting angry, right? Oh, we're not going to have sex tonight. No worries. Whoever said anything about sex, right? I just want to get to know you better. Let's just see how the night goes, right? There's no worries. We're going back to my place. We're not having sex. No worries. Okay? Always no worries. This is like wind, like a natural. Very, very subtle. Because when you're like that, does that kind of make sense? No worries. No worries. Now you're not needy. And because of that, you're more likely to get her into the bedroom faster because no worries. She's like, let's go on Insta date. No, I want to go to my place first. I want to go to like her location, right? No worries. Great. Now let's go your place first, then we'll go to my next venue afterwards. No worries. Get it? No worries. Don't pour them a drink, right? This is not some fucking bench holding game, right? You don't say no worries. Here's the fucking vodka and alcohol. No, don't never fucking do that. Nobody does romance in my system that I teach for all the lay testimonials. Everyone just did the sexual connection. So they don't even bother with the fucking romance. Romance does not work because romance makes you stuck in the bedroom and you have to use alcohol. So don't use romance. Just use the sexual connection. Maneuver, sexualize, objections, looping. I mean, romance is like, who fits into a boyfriend-girlfriend frame these days? If you're not like 5'9" or above. Who? Almost nobody fits into that. right? Except for tall blacks, Latinos, and whites. Most people don't fit into it. And then when you pull her back home, you have to start wrestling with her like Russell Brand, right? Like he wrestles with 16-year-olds, or Andrew Late. You know what she got in trouble for? Creating Stockholm Syndrome. Is not going to close. Therefore, the products don't work. Therefore, the boot camps is what you learn is the Russell Brand alcohol game. Fuck that. Never again. Husband frame will be better because think about this fucking ridiculous Asian hair. All right. So basically, how, most women, right? You just like, oh, they all have high body count and they only care about ladies on Tinder, right? Because they're all like riding a cock carousel. It's not true. Most women only like have sex with like less than 10 guys before they get married, even on Tinder. The ones who don't do that, they have borderline personality or they're narcissist. Most women will be in a relationship. So if your husband material, she's always looking to get married, that puts you number one in the line. You're more valuable as a potential husband material than you are as a boyfriend because not everyone fits into a boyfriend, girlfriend, romantic frame. Does that make sense? That Playboy frame? No. If you're talking about high status Playboy, how many of you can actually be a millionaire entrepreneur? You think you can, Alex? You think you can be a millionaire entrepreneur? You're working in a fucking normal job, right? 9 to 5. How the fuck can you do it? Be in a Playboy frame. How? Don't you have a boss that'll get angry at you if you have women twerking? Delusional. You're right, John. You think you can be Dan Brazilian? Yeah, you're an engineer. That's the problem. You're going to get fucking fired at work when you have a bunch of women trying pre-selection and parties into your Instagram. When you're hanging out with women, you'll be sure to get fired from your job. Then you're forced to be an entrepreneur. But can you do the Playboy frame? The high status frame? No. Can my students do it? Because most of my students are engineers. No. None of them can fucking do that. Ever. Does that answer your question? The husband material is the best frame. Every woman wants to get married one day. Your husband material, you're number one in line. You skip the line. Because all the other guys she dates, this is how most women dates. The first guy, when she's 16 years old, she has her first boyfriend. The guy is some kind of Latino or half Asian guy. He's around 5'6" or 5 foot something like that, right? Because now she's not racist. Now she's not prejudiced against height. After she finished high school, the next guy is going to be 6'2". The next guy is going to be 6'4". Next guy is 6'3". Next guy is 6'1". Next guy is 5'10". Next guy is 5'11". 6'1". Then she marries the 6'2" guy. But she's not racist or prejudiced against heightism because the first guy was 5'6". So therefore, she is not like that. But all the other ones are all tall. How can you compete against all these white guys? Oh, you can use alcohol and bench hold and wrestle with her like a wrestle brand. No, don't fucking do that. What you could do is be husband material. You can be husband material. You ever see my students get like 10 fuck buddies and 15 lays in a row, 52 lays? They always keep going up in value. The women keeps getting hotter and hotter because it's husband material. It works. All my students are husband material. You guys are all trying to be Mr. Fuckboy, Mr. RSD Hoodie. You gotta go out there like RSD Hoodie and do 100 fucking approaches in the boxing ring and getting knocked the fuck out because you're little short little Asian guys with no value because of cortisol. Your narrow fucking shoulders and you're just sweating like crazy full of cortisol. It's stress hormone. Good luck with that. You're just gonna quit and go to Tinder or some shit. Like less than 1% can do that. Yeah, use elevator shoes, not just fucking heels. Heels only give you 2 inches, right? Heels will give you 3. That's all I gotta say for today, man. I gotta stop. You guys gotta stop asking me all these questions because you guys are keeping me here. I haven't even ate dinner yet. I'm very sick today. I'm super sick today, but I still want to be here. Like I don't know if I have flu or something, but at the very least today, I said I have to make the video, no matter what. No matter what, I'm gonna make this video. I don't care how sick I feel. I'm probably gonna throw up after this. I'm not sure, but I just don't feel good. It just happened a few days ago, but it's not gone away. So I don't know what the symptoms are, but there's like a light cold or something. I feel very dizzy. Whenever I lie down in my head, it just feels like it's spinning in a circle. I'm not sure if those are the symptoms of it. It always feels like a mild flu or something. So yeah, but like I said, this today I have to be here. If I don't talk about the rain, right, in the micro umbrella put in the blazer, right? You guys will not approach, right? You guys will make excuses. There's no time for excuses, guys. There's no more time to worship. You're not like the ultimate in female nature. You don't worship other coaches if they're not able to get 2023 late testimonials. The next late testimonial will come soon, maybe in a few days. It's gonna be a guy with 15 fucking lays, 5 white girls, 5 models too, a foursome, a lay in one approach in Berlin, and also 2 actresses in Asia. He fucked 2 actresses in a professional movie. He got invited to a movie in Asia. That means you can go into theaters and before and see it. Actual real movie. She's an actress. And he married her. He just married her on October the 10th. So Chinese student too. There's no okay, stop thinking mystery method. Mystery method, go to every forum group with mystery method, all the pickup artist groups. With this indicators of interest. How many of them have gotten a late testimonial in 2023? 0. Drop the mystery method. We must destroy the mystery method. Maybe the next YouTube live, I'm going to destroy the mystery method and debunk it. Fuck mystery method. Must be destroyed. It's destroying Asian men's lives with ABCs of attraction using the misery method that does not work. Other coaches with the old mystery method doesn't work. Mystery needs to go. Mystery does not have the right to exist, metaphorically speaking. All right, let's continue. I'm going to press stop now. Thank you for being here, guys. Right? But yeah, I'm feeling very, very dizzy. So let me check the symptoms, right? New wave, right? Variant 2023. Let me just see what the symptoms are. Okay, worry about this later. Top 4. Fever, cough, headache, loss of smell. Shit. I think I have all that. I don't smell the food that much. Okay, that's not important. All right. Anyways, I need to get some sleep. I haven't ate dinner yet either. You know, I haven't ate dinner either. Today, I just have to be here. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to eat later on. So I made some bread, so that's easier so I don't throw up. I have a bread machine, so. But I do feel very dizzy, right? Very feverish. Yeah, I know. Feeling a little bit thin lately. So I'll see you guys next time. This is 2 hours and 49 minutes, right? Thank you for being here. I guess I'll see you guys next time. We can figure out what topic to do next, right? I'll figure it out. Then I can make some YouTube shorts out of this, right? There'll be a bunch of shorts, right? Just out of this video. I can make a ton. All right, cool. See ya. Till next time.